Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are? Some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Griff Report. We grifted on the Sabbath. I am joined with the esteemed, the illustrious, the well-studied, the licensed, the stamped, the legend, the man, myth, and the legend, Dr. Enqi himself. Dr. Enqi, welcome to the platform, my brother. What you been up to, bro? I should say welcome back. This is your third time. My bad. Welcome back. I'm sorry. This is home. This is home.
Yeah, man. I've been it's been crazy from the herpes outbreak up into just right now, finding out that, Jabari.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you for the gifted sub. Jabari did what? Don't tell me he was co-signing Kamala.
No. It's way deeper than that.
What?
He was not. No. He's definitely been co-signing Kamala. He's definitely co-signing Kamala. He's definitely co-signing Prop 1. Right? But that's not it. That's not it. Jabari, I just exposed as a plant in the community.
What?
Bro, yo, I couldn't believe it myself.
How?
Jabari has been with the Democrats. He's been with Joe Biden and the Clintons and them since the 80s.
He went to university, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. That would make sense. Did he go to a HBCU?
Bro, I haven't tracked down his full school record yet, but
Jabari Osaze, right?
Osaze, yeah.
What's his? Let me check his wiki. Where did he get? Where did he get his?
Crazy.
His website's down. That's really weird.
See, the whole thing started, you know what? Maybe he took it down last night because he might be in trouble right now. Folks might be asking him questions he don't want to answer right now. It's crazy right now.
Why?
Well, because, I think sometimes people get ahead of themselves on the internet and, we get comfortable and say things that, we don't, we get comfortable. So he got comfortable. He made some comments, coming for me. We having a political conversation, and he all of a sudden takes it like, oh, well, your grandparents rolling over in their grave and woo woo woo. So, mind you, I got other stuff going on at the time, so I can't really wrestle with him at the moment that he's making these crazy comments. But I'm like, yo, you playing? I'm gonna circle back to you. I'm gonna circle back around because at the time, I was getting immense, like, I ain't gonna say pressure, but there's really no other word, but people were pressing me to put out, like some information and do some classes on herpes because, at the time, I didn't even know there was a big herpes outbreak, right? Normally, I just keep my ears to the street and, people just ask me, random consultations kind of stuff.
Right.
Anytime I hear something come up over and over and over, I know this is like a widespread issue. So I had been going back and forth on the internet with a guy named Zip with the Drip.
Okay.
And me and him was going back and forth because he made some statements about vegans being bitch ass niggas and Dr. Sabi is this and that. And so we was going back and forth. And a part of our conversation was the herpes thing. So when people starting to hit me up asking me questions, I'm thinking this is just that new audience of people from me arguing with him. And so people are curious, asking me. I don't find out until I see Aiden Ross and DJ Academic online with this, I guess he's supposed to be a Nigerian OnlyFans porn star. And one girl says she got herpes from him. And then apparently from there was a domino effect. And, apparently he's supposed to have infected between 3,000 and 10,000 OnlyFans girls.
Damn.
So yeah, so that's a thing. So that winds up, becoming a book. The book gets me ranked on Amazon. So mind you, I got 60 books on Amazon. This is the first time I was on like any type of bestseller list. You know what I'm saying? For a couple days. So that's
congratulations.
Yeah, that's a whole vibe in and of itself. So we in that space, and I'm dealing with that, and then DJ Clark Kent, he passes, and then people will start, hitting me up. And this time I'm getting hit up from the neighborhood. They're like, yo, we need you to do one of them things you do and explain to us about this colon cancer, because now this is twice. We done lost Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, now DJ Clark Kent. For people that don't know, DJ Clark Kent is responsible for like Biggie and Jay-Z and kind of, guys like that. So that's where he gets, his importance and prestige in the business and all that kind of stuff from. So they're like, yeah, we need this colon cancer. So that becomes a book, and that becomes a whole thing. And so, we in our universe over there. And in the mix of this is when Jabari kind of calls me out. And so now I got to wrestle with Jabari, and come to find out, he says, yeah, he been, doing this since the 1980s, way before he even got involved with the Kemetic stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself, how is it that somebody who prides themselves on sharing their credentials, how did you manage to not mention that you've been promoting the school to prison pipeline? Did you been a part of the crime bills? Like, how did you fail to mention that during the whole pandemic crisis, he was the main person on the internet saying, get the shot, I'm like, hold on. You was the main person campaigning for people to get the shot. You didn't mention to us all this time that you work for these people, or you work with these people. Like you never thought that was something that people needed to know as a disclaimer. Like, you're not a concerned citizen. You're not a Kemetic scholar in the community. You are a low-level politician pretending to be a Kemetic scholar because that's your entry into the community. That's your cover. So the whole thing started because he's on the internet, and he over there supposing Kamala. And I had done an interview. Now, so I got friends. I got close friends that's in the politics. I got a brother out in New York. He's a Democrat. He's heavy in the politics. That's my guy. I got a brother out Chicago. He's heavy into politics. He's a Democrat. I got my other brother on the other side. He's running to get in the Senate right now as a Republican. You know what I'm saying? So I've been pushing him and helping it with his. So my affiliations on both sides, I kind of vote my interest. And right now, just, we haven't really had anything from the Democrats. Now, I could see in the next maybe 10 years or so, some of the young folks coming up. But point is, he makes the crazy statement because me and my brothers, we had a show we did with a brother that, he had a 52-year prison sentence based on the sentencing guidelines from Joe Biden. So as Jabari's on, Sonetta's page and he talking his Kamala Harris route, he's going, I said, well, listen, I just did a whole interview with a brother that Biden tried to give 52 years, not tried to, he gave 52 years, Biden's responsible. He puts on the most condescending show on earth. I mean, I would have gave him an Oscar, a Grammy. Enqi. You see, Sonetta, this is what I'm talking about. Last I checked, Joe Biden wasn't a judge. How could Joe Biden be responsible for giving anybody a jail sentence? This is what I'm talking about. These guys are not qualified to talk to me, and blah, 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 blah. And your grandmother be rolling over in her grave. You must eat dogs and blah, blah. I mean, he was going on. I said, wow. I knew when Jabari, who is normally a very reserved guy, I knew that when he began to get animated and come outside of his normal persona, I knew that it must have been, I knew I must have touched a nerve right there. And so at that point, I'm like, hold on. So how are you going to sit up here and really pretend? And now I don't know at this time that he is with, I don't know that he's with these people. At this time, I'm just basing what I'm saying off of his college education and how much, we've all grown to respect him for being on a platform where people just are kind of from all over the place. Jabari is like the guy with the education, so we can lean on him in a scholastic sense, so when he makes the statement, and I even said it in my video, I was like, you know what, Sa, if this was anybody like one of the brain dead guys that just, you be throwing up there on the platform, I would give him a pass. Jabari went to school, though. Jabari's educated. Jabari knows damn well what sentencing guidelines are. Like Jabari cannot make a statement and go, he doesn't understand how politics and policy influence sentencing. Because a judge, and this is just in case for people watching don't know, but a judge does not have the freedom to just give you any sentence. That's not how it goes. The judge has to give you, based on what the evidence is and what the jury says and how everything goes in the trial or the case, something in between the minimum and the maximum. They don't have the ability to just go, okay, well, the minimum is 5 years and the maximum is 15 years. I'm going to give you 35 years, or the minimum is 5 years. I'm just going to, you out of here. Like they can't do that. They have to go with the minimum and the maximum, and the minimum and maximum is always set based on policy and the guidelines set by whoever's in office or whatever bills pass. So when he did that, I told him, I said, yo, you played yourself in a way you're not going to be able to come back from this, bro. This, you done let a cat out of the bag that would never be, because nobody will ever trust you again. Like nobody will ever, at least not in this space. Nobody will ever trust you again when it comes to politics, because we know that not only do you work for those people, but you've been working for those people and you've been hiding it all this time. It's not like you've been telling folks, well, I'm biased because, I've partnered up with the Democrats and, blah, 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 blah. No. He just, so, I don't know if you want me to show I got a little, I got some clips.
What you got?
But it's a long clip. It's like 15 minutes. So it's like 10 minutes. I don't know. We got time. I don't know.
We could break it down little by little.
Okay, I got a little clip. I always got a little.
We could play it and then just, go little by little through it. Share the screen. Let me see. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, because the video is like 2.5 hours, but I put a little montage.
Yeah, okay, let's pull that up.
Gotta enable it. No, you gotta enable it.
Okay, hold on.
When I hit the share screen, it said the host.
Try it now.
Okay. Here we go. Bang, bang.
Okay.
Now the jig is up.
How dare you go on Sonetta page and lie to the people and try to ridicule me in the middle of your rant? Oh, Enqi, last I checked, Biden wasn't no judge. How could Biden influence somebody getting 52 years? Let's hear dumbass Jabari say this shit again. See, this is a lie because Jabari is college educated, so he knows goddamn well what the hell I'm talking about. And he's been supporting the Democrats since the 1980s. So he was there when all these bills were on the books in 1993. He knows about this. He supported this and then came to the black community and tried to explain to niggas how this benefit. Let's go listen to Jabari say this dumb. Hold on. Y'all know I get ahead of myself sometime and I get a little crazy. So hold on. Let me get it right. Damn it. Let's get this shit right when we cook it. I got to properly season this. I'm sorry. I mixed the cayenne pepper with the coriander. Hold on. Let me down. We're gonna put some cumin in this and get this right. Okay, we're gonna get this right. And Cole, did that affect what happens in my neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison?
You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. Biden
gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. See right there? That's called cloning. I said, no, Biden hitting everything. Biden responsible for all these jails. Oh no, how could Biden? That's so silly. And then, the dumb niggas watching, they got low information. See, low information, they don't know no better. So they have to judge Jabari versus Dr. Enqi. They don't judge us based on information. They have to judge based on what? Oh, I'm a college educated guy. Look at him. He's not even a real doctor. He has one gold teeth. See, you see how they do that? And Biden is a good old white man. So clearly Biden is a great guy that we should, yeah. I don't know how Biden could have given somebody time. How could that be? Let's look at this shit again. I don't know why he played with me. You played with the wrong nigga, Jabari. Sonetta be confused. Sonetta has underestimated me consistently for years. So it's not an panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means.
You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. You're looking at
So not only do we know who has been writing the crime bills, not only do we know who is the author of the pipeline from the school to the prison system, but we know clearly when it hits the floor, because the smart nigga's gonna say, well, anybody could bring a bill to the floor. We also now know who has been the majority voters that have been passing these bills into law. So not only do we know that Biden has been authoring or co-authoring all the bills, but we know that the Democrats have been the ones responsible for passing this shit into legislation. So how the hell can Jabari be with these people from the 80s and not know what's going on? See, this is where the cooning, this is why I had to put, I had to put this guy in this place like, listen, I don't care what you can't come back from this because your man Biden done broke down the whole program. There's nothing to dispute here. Biden done said the whole program. You in trouble, boy. This is a wrap right here. This is a flawless, he done told you. He's the architect of the sentencing guidelines and he done wrote the crime bills. I don't even know how you could be both of those, but.
primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. You're looking at the fellow who was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. You're looking at the fact was one of the primary architects of the Sentencing Commission.
There isn't a candidate in Harlem that doesn't know me that I can't call. Does that affect what happens in my neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years. How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, see, all this got to get cooked, Sab. See, all this right here, when he is allowed to sit up on a platform and say things like this, if it was somebody else that said that, right? Like if you had one of them brain dead dudes that be over there said that, he would get a pass. But when Jabari says that, see, that is him misleading and misinforming the people. See, that's where it gotta expose right there that Jabari is the one that secretly has an agenda, right? But I know that I don't get paid, and I've never been paid by any Democratic or any political party, right? So there's no agenda. My agenda is to see that, the improvements that I think one party or another can make. That's, like anybody else has, right? Okay. If you believe the Democrats can do the best job for the country, then you should be out saying, yo, let's vote Democrats. If you believe Republicans, that's your agenda. So everybody technically has an agenda. The women that believe they voting for abortion rights, that's their agenda, right? The single black fathers that want to see the groceries, whatever, that's the agenda. But I think when we use the term agenda in a nefarious way, what we're talking about is an ulterior motive or secret agenda, or something that supersedes the benefits of the people for personal benefit, right? So the first thing we have to understand is Jabari has a liberal education. So we have to start there and check Jabari's education, right? Did Jabari get a liberal education in college? Because we've been on these platforms for a very long time talking about colleges indoctrinating people's brains. Right, there's clips of 1,000 different people saying, when you go through the American food system and, you get indoctrinated trying to become a doctor. And, we've had these conversations, whether we all share these opinions or not. That's not the subject, but we've had these conversations. So we know that it is possible for you to go to school and then be brainwashed by what happens to you. So we have to start there. Is there a Jabari agenda? Jabari pretending like he doesn't know that the law influences how people are sentenced. Jabari pretending that he doesn't know that politicians passing law determines sentencing guidelines. See, this is why I'm saying, and this is why I gotta address that from over here. Because see, over there, I might be, hold on, boy, let's get somebody in the thing with this. No. He gotta just hear all this. People need to hear all this now before they run out there on Tuesday listening to Jabari and make the wrong decision. And I'm not saying don't vote Democrat. Oh, I am saying don't vote Democrat. But I'm saying that based on what I believe the parties have to do, right? Not on an ulterior motive because I personally am getting paid, right? Everybody knows I vote my interest. That's what you're supposed to do when you're voting. You're supposed to vote your interests and you're supposed to promote your interests, right? Problem is if your interests, like this Diddy situation, Jabari has been promoting the Democrats longer than he's been promoting ancient chemists. In fact, Jabari been promoting the Democrats since puppies started promoting the Democrat.
Obama blog, so Barack Obama meets Barack Obama.
Jabari, was you a part of puppies' vote movements for the Democrats?
4 years ago, I had the privilege to meet Barack Obama, interview him, predict that he was going to be something big.
That's just a question. I'm just saying, Jabari, was you a part of the Puff Daddy run to vote, rock to vote, walk to vote, music to vote? Was you a part of those Democrat movements that Puff Daddy started in New York City? Yes or no? That's just a question right there for Jabari. Hey, stop. Listen. Right now, it might seem funny, but when people start examining, they're going to know it's not. Because Jabari is an educated person, right? As an educated person, him getting up on the camera and pretending that he doesn't know
how politicians and policy affects sentencing guidelines. That's crazy. Like, you don't think, stop. You might not understand this politics stuff, stop. You might not get it, right? Respectfully. But we just watched Young Thug get off yesterday. You don't think that the reason why they had to do that deal yesterday is to hurry up before the election? Because the DA and all of them got to go up for election on Tuesday. The politics very much influences sentencing. Why do you think they got off so favorable? They were supposed to get 3, 4, 5 life sentences for all that shit that they did, or allegedly did. And how did that wind up? Almost everybody's at home right now. Why? Because they can't go into an election looking like they're trying to railroad young black boys. See, you over there playing with Jabari, son. Jabari is over there, he's doing his own thing. You gotta make sure you separate your own opinion from whatever Jabari got going on, because Jabari is taking a check. Jabari's getting paid over there to mislead people.
Oh,
listen
shit.
To this again. Let's listen to this again. Jabari pretending like he don't know that the law influences sentencing guidelines. Listen to this. Judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. Biden gave to the neighborhood? Of course. What is this? I just did a panel with a brother darker than me that Biden gave 52 years in prison. Biden gave 52 years? How does Biden give someone 52 years in prison? Is Biden a judge? Was Biden ever a judge? Does that make, I don't understand what that means. What do you mean Biden gave him 52 years?
The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was Jabari. You sure you want me to let this video go? Jabari, you want me to let this video play? Jabari, you want me to let this video play? Jabari, stop hiding. Sinetta's here. No, stop. You see, Jabari's goose is cooked. Just relax. And did you already text Jabari? That's what you should be concerned with right now. Did you already tell Jabari to tune in? Because right now, Jabari goose is cooked. We're going to let this video go. The Biden bill. Let me set the record straight. Hold on, Joe Biden. Whose bill is this exactly, Joe Biden? Because we want to make sure that we're not putting no smut on Biden's name, because it was 2 people that was on the bill. But Biden is making sure that he clarifies for everybody on the floor that the other person is taken off, and he's presenting this whole bill by himself. Let's get back to the Biden, Jabari's man. Let's get back to Jabari's man on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden. Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States. Hold on. Biden, who wrote this bill? Just to be clear, because I don't want Jabari to say anything. Like, I just want to make sure. Who wrote this bill, Biden? I just to explain it, because I was a little confused, but now I'm getting unconfused. Now, who is the author of this 1993 crime bill? Jabari. On this bill, the underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America. But between the time he got elected in November until the time he was... Okay, so let's make sure we got our notes. So Biden was working with Bill Clinton to put this thing here together. And Jabari has been working with Biden and the Clintons. Jabari works with the Clintons and Biden, and the Bidens and Clinton put this bill together. So let's keep on going. Wait a minute. Enqi, hold on. Enqi, you just can't just be saying all kind of crazy stuff now. Well, let's just go ahead and let's do it again. And the Hatch bill was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton, President of the United States of America. And between the time he got elected in November until the time he was sworn in, called me at my home on 6 separate occasions. And he unfortunately doesn't need a lot of sleep.
They said, are you going to play the clip when you call Sa?
To discuss.
Oh, yo, that means whoever's saying that, watch the video.
Yeah. Go to that clip.
Nah, I didn't put it in the clip, but because there's 2 parts where I call.
So where's the one where you call Sa?
It's in the whole video.
It's in this one?
But I called Sa at the beginning of the video, so that way, everything will be on.
Play that part.
All right, you want me to play? I'll play it after this, so that way we can play this out.
We already know what Biden did. Let's just jump to the hot shit.
All right.
Everybody here know what Biden did.
So wait, let's get to this part.
That's not news for my audience.
Oh, let me see this.
Community. This is before I was part of the Kemetic.
There you go.
I've already been working with these people. Okay, let's do that. One of the things that they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I have been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community, since the 1980s. African-American community, since before I was part of the Kemetic community. In the African-American community, since before I was part of the Kemetic community, talk to you as a historian, is that they don't recognize is, I know that when I come on here, I talk to you as a historian, but I have been involved in political action in the African-American community since before I was part of the Kemetic community, since the, what?
He been a part of this.
I think the part where I called Sa wasn't that crazy. It was just me, like telling Sa to get Jabari, like get your man on the live stream so that way, because I like to, when I'm firing, I like to fire, like I don't like to,
What was Sa's argument?
Well, Sa is just, Sa didn't have a dog in the race.
But what did he say when that super chat popped up?
Oh, well, Sa was just like, yo, I think, Jabari, Floyd Mayweather, you got to watch out because Jabari might get you and blah, blah, blah.
He playing Dog King again.
Yeah. It was just that's all. But I was like, Sa, this ain't that, bro. This is not, I understand where you're coming from, but this is not that scenario. He can't get out of this because he done told us he been with the Democrats working in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Since the 1980s.
Before he did the African stuff.
Before he did. So that means you damn near minstrel show. You damn near coming in blackface. You've been with them.
That means he's been trained by them.
Facts.
He's got training by them.
Facts.
He's practically a trained Marxist.
Bro, not practically. That's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. And that's trying to explain it to Sa, like, bro, this is a big thing. This is bigger than you think. Like, this is one thing. Let's say, for instance, he didn't know any better. And he just was, okay, like, because a lot of us, when I was a kid, my mom told me, you black, you Democrat. So a lot of us kind of got that background. But if you was really a man of the people, the moment that 1993 rolls around and you were part of the Democratic Party and you see them creating this new thing with the super predators from the street and, these crazy sentencing guidelines where a 15-year-old in the black community will get 3 times as much time as a 15-year-old in the suburbs, like at that point, you were supposed to step away from it. But you doubled down. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been there promoting all these alternative school books to the kids and the he's been online.
That means he's been incentivized to stay with them.
Come on now. That grand opening, grand closing.
Because nobody could see the acts of the Democratic Party and stay without some sort of incentive.
Come on now. Especially if you are on a quote unquote pro-black, semi-militant, conscious platform, talking about you a man of the people, and you got all these comedic spiritual ideas.
Shout out for the gifted sub. Just Hotep, I appreciate you. No, you can't go from House of Consciousness to the Democratic Party. Those two things, though, that's oil and water.
Facts. And so wait. The beautiful thing is he admitted that he didn't. He came from the Democratic Party
first. So he was trained by them before he was trained by Dr. Clark.
Facts. His loyalty lies to them.
Yeah.
And I would guess that not only does he have that liberal education, but because he's a teacher, I'm almost certain that he's teaching in that liberal system. So even if he was to say something like, oh, I don't get a check for, of course you do. They put you right in position. Your whole job and existence is with those people.
To indoctrinate the next generation.
You can't go against those people in public. No matter what they do, you got to go up there like Cardi B looking super goofy.
It's
You
worse
gotta
than
go
that.
up there.
It's worse than that. You said he's a teacher. How
Yeah.
what age? What age group?
I think he's teaching the college.
So his job is to oppress the minds of black men.
Facts.
Because you could imagine how he talked to you. Is probably how he probably talks 10 times worse to his students when they say something like, hey, I'm taking a look at Trump. And they might not have all the information, but could you imagine how he downplays their opinions and makes them feel stupid, right? This is dangerous.
Very dangerous. And that's why, in all honesty, you know, because I get caught up in my passions and just go. But in all honesty, I was trying to tell Sai, like, Sai, no, this is different, bro. Trust me. You got to separate your opinions from whatever Jabari doing. I know that's your man on the platform and the debates and all that, but this is something different. Jabari just said he been with them people almost as long as I've been alive. Yeah. Like they authored the pipeline to prison thing. These are the people that, and that video gets even crazier because in that video, Biden says he knows that they caused the poverty. They caused the uneven education. Like he knows they caused the red line. He said, we don't care. These people is going to turn into predators and criminals, and we need to get them out of here now. Like we need to get them off the streets now by any means. So I'm like, yo, you've been promoting this the whole time? Because I've been with them since the 80s. So that means when Biden says every major and minor crime bill, he not only authored or co-authored, but it been passed by Democratic vote. We now have to go to the people who are galvanizing the Democratic vote. So I just was like, I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. This election done brought a lot of stuff out to the surface. Like, this is a wild thing.
Well, he's got a Democrat accent. I should have knew by his accent. He doesn't talk like us. He doesn't have.
You gotta explain that. That's a bar right there. That's a bar. A Democratic accent.
He got a Democratic dialect.
I've heard some other things about his accent, but I haven't heard Democratic accent.
He's got. We call it on this channel. We call it the Democrat accent. He's got a Democrat dialect. His dialect is not native to a region, which means it's created for politics. It's created for news and media. He's got that type of voice.
He does has that slow, neutral, monotone delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is absolutely a trained kind of speaking. That's how they train you to speak.
Yeah. So, basically, some people might say you sound white. He not like us. He got a Democrat accent. I know educated people that don't talk like that. You don't talk like that. Shaka don't talk like that. I don't talk like that.
That's a fact.
But he talks like one of these university Negroes. And I know college professors
that don't
talk like that.
Wait, no.
Black.
I know white college professors that don't talk like that.
Facts. I know white college professors that don't talk like that. Facts.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
He's spooky. Bro. He is spook.
Facts. My man is a legitimate plant in the community. So yeah, there's that. But the herpes thing, man, I'm just trying to get folks well. I'm working on a fibroids book. It'll be out this week. But the herpes thing is just
what's going on with the herpes stuff?
The herpes thing, and then the black issue. Like really, that's been the over encompassing and even that was spurred on to some extent by this election, because there's been so much question of whether Kamala's black or not. So you're a part of this. You're a part of this. That's funny how you all in the mix. You're actually a part of this because that conversation with Mark Lamont Hill, the first one, that caused me to go on my own little tirade. And I start asking folks, I'm like, so hold up. Is Kamala black? Is Kamala? Now I got my own opinions, but I'm asking folks. And then I'm getting all these different answers. So now I even go over to Sinetta. I ask Sinetta, what does black mean? And I start asking everybody this, just in general, because I think one of the problems we have as a community is literacy, right? And then even sometimes when we're arguing and having debates, sometimes we get so passionate about our end of the debate, we never check to make sure that we're on the same footing in terms of what we're arguing about. Like, for instance, if we're arguing with somebody about is Kamala black, Mark Lamont Hill said what? Oh, she listens to Too Short records and drinks 25-cent juice. You know, she drinks quarter waters. So I said, wait a minute, hold up. At first, I was just so insulted. I was like, hold on. But I got to think. I'm like, hold on. Get yourself under control, Enqi. Damn it. Outside of this, you do know, like, Mark Lamont Hill is educated. See, this educated thing, and Mark Lamont Hill is well-rounded because Mark Lamont Hill, he may not tell nobody, but Mark Lamont Hill is a Dr. York guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he started out following Dr. York. He's from Philly in New Jersey, and he's from the neighborhood. So he better knock it off. Mark Lamont Hill is a very intelligent guy. So when he says quarter waters and Too Short, I got to go, wait a minute. Is he purposely misleading niggas as well? Or does he believe that? So I start asking people to get consensus. Hey, what's black? What's black? And I'm starting off with folks that opinion I respect, not John Q. Public. Like, I did a documentary and I asked people randomly, like I went to Home Depot and just walked up and down the street. Hey, have you ever heard of the word melanin? Do you know what that means? Hey, have you ever heard the word diabetes? Do you know what that means? Do you ever hear of melanin and diabetes being like ops or cross-referenced or related to each other? Just to see what the general public knew. But this thing here, I didn't even have time. So I just started asking everybody. When I asked Sarnetta what black meant, he said, black was opposition to white oppression. So anybody that was in opposition to white oppression was considered black. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I respect it because he was with the Panthers. He was with Khalid Muhammad. So I'm like, okay, let me start asking more people because I see this thing is getting crazy now. Mark Lamont Hill, well respected, he said black is quarter water and Too Short songs. Sarnetta from the Black Panthers with Khalid Muhammad said black means opposition to white oppression. Now, I don't know how far everybody's memory goes back, but you know this lady called Harriet Tubman, right? She was supposed to be, like going down to the South and she's sneaking niggas back up to the North and the Underground Railroad. I'm like, wait, y'all do know that the people's houses that she was hiding in with the black folks was all white folks. So technically, those white folks was in opposition to white supremacy or white oppression. So that would make all those white folks that was with Harriet Tubman black people, and that would make all the white folks that was marching with Martin Luther King black people. So I'm like, okay, so let's take melanin off the table because clearly, as far as that definition is concerned, same thing with Mark Lamont Hill. All races listen to Too Short. All races listen to quarter waters because I have personally, in my neighborhood in the Bronx, shared quarter waters with all types of niggas. White folks, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Dominican. I've seen the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, who we consider to be Spanish, stabbing each other to death out in the streets because they're like, no. I'm not, he's not me, I'm not him, I'm not. So I'm starting to go crazy now with this black thing. I'm like, hey, what's black mean? Oh, black is not a real thing because, the Negro, black, and colored. I'm like, okay, so the Moorish guys say that not only is black not real, but we are the actual white people. Interesting. And so I just keep going and getting more and more definitions. When I asked Jabari what black meant, he said anybody that has pigment. So anybody that has pigment is black. And so, I keep going, I ask more people. Lex Vortex, he's an internet YouTuber. Lex Vortex said something about the drugs and the guns. If you're not, busting your gat and keeping it real and all this other stuff, you're not really black, because you got to be from the hood and rep the hood. And so I asked about 20, 30 people what black means, and everybody gives me a passionate yet different description of what that word means to them. So now I'm saying to myself, this is a game. Because when we're debating whether Kamala is black or not, nobody is even on the same page of what black is. Now, to take it a step further, for me, it goes full circle because the number one risk factor for diabetes is being Black. The number one risk factor for colon cancer is Black. The number one risk factor for herpes is Black. High blood pressure, Black. Fibroids, Black. Like you just name it. I'm like, wait a minute. And then you ask the scientists or the doctors, because you go to your hospital and your doctor will tell you, oh, well, one of the main risk factors for this and that is, you're Black and you're an adult, you're a Black adult over 40. So you ask him, say, hey, just quick question, doc. I get it. I'm not challenging your medical scholarship or medical knowledge. But when you say, because I'm Black, I'm at a high risk for high blood pressure, can you explain to me what Black means? The doctors don't know. They like, oh, African American. I'm like, okay. All right, I could roll with that, African American. Can you explain to me what African American means? Well, Black people that were brought here from, other places around the world. I said, do you see the problem, Doc? So if I'm brung here from anywhere around the world and I'm not white, technically I become Black. By default, because you're something other, unless you stay in touch with your nationality. You from Togo, or you from Ghana, or you from Haiti, or I'm from Argentina. Other than that, you Black. And then because of the rap culture, somehow the rap culture and Black have merged into a thing where, because obviously a race or a nationality has to have a culture. So you now have the rap thing is the culture, right? And then I had to even expose that and turn that into a book. That turned into a whole book by itself. Because I said, everybody on the internet is confused. Everybody's confused about rap. Nobody knows what rap is. How do I know nobody knows what rap is? Because rap is just like Black. When you challenge somebody and ask them, hey, what's rap? You'll get one answer where you say, oh, well, rap is this and that, and it's the lyrics, and, hip hop is the culture, and I'm like, where you get that from? Oh, nah, I know about rap. And then the next thing they tell you is what songs they listen to. Oh, I'm from Texas. You crazy? I go back to DJ Screw. Or, I'm from the Bronx. I've been listening to KRS. That's not telling me a definition to a term.
Right.
And if we don't know the definition to the term, then technically we can't recognize what's going on around us. We don't even know what we signed a contract for. Like, let me hit the share screen and show you exactly what I'm saying, because it's very important to kind of get these definitions, because I'm like, no. You niggas don't realize what you signed up for, because nobody's reading. They say if you want to hide something from Black folks, put it in the book. You see that?
What's that the definition for?
This is the etymology of the definition for rap.
Rap, okay. R-A-P.
R-A-P, rap. So this is what it is. When you sign a contract to rap, you're signing up to do this. Right? And so it says a quick light blow, resounding stroke, a fart. Right? So now we know why talking shit is a part of rap. Right? But then it goes here, a slang meaning to rebuke, blame, responsibility, from the 1770s. And then right here is where it gets very detailed. It says the specific meaning is what? A criminal indictment.
Damn.
So now, once we know what the definition is, all this shit that's going on starts to make sense. Of course, the rappers have to be criminally indicted, because you signed the contract for this. This is what you signed up for. This is from 1903. This is not Enqi made this. So this is from 1903. This is before DJ Kool Herc. This is before any of them was even alive. 1903, the term meant criminal indictment.
Damn.
So this is what you signed up for. You signed up for a life of crime to promote criminal indictments. That's what you signed up for, a life of crime to promote criminal indictments. So now when we look back, we understand everything that happens the moment we get clarity on the definition, because we go, well, how come these artists is getting killed and they going to jail and blah, blah, blah? Because they also told you niggas the answer to that. You can only escape a life of crime one of two ways, dead or in jail. So you signed a contract for a life of crime, and you can only get out dead or in jail. That's why they all got the same story.
Unshare that. Unshare that.
Biggie was trying to get out of his contract with Puff. Tupac was trying to get out of his contract with Suge. Well, you can't get out of these contracts. You signed up for a life of crime. That's why you see 50 is still good.
Stop sharing the screen. Stop sharing the screen real fast. Why are you talking?
Okay.
You said what?
50 is good. 50 is good because guess what? 50 is doing a what? A residency in Vegas. I'm like, yo, do y'all know the definition of residence? Like, yo, Jay-Z and all these old artists, they still under contract. So as long as they stay under contract, then they don't have to worry about the dead or in jail thing. But as soon as they start to step outside that contract, you face with those things. They're like, oh, well, that ain't got nothing to do with Little Dirk, because Little Dirk, murder for hire. His guy was wearing a wire and he snitched and blah, 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 blah. I was like, whoa. We've been watching all of the snitches go home. What are you talking about? He snitched. That don't got nothing to do with it. Tekashi 6ix9ine not only told, he went home, went back to jail, went home, went back to jail, went home. He's back in jail. He'll probably be home in a few weeks. Woody is now a worldwide international star. Like, that don't got nothing to do with nothing. And Dirk having a murder case, Dirk have been having murder cases since he started. The first time we ever seen Dirk and Vaughn, they was out on bail for murder. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with it. All of the cases that Dirk done caught for murder, they've been taken care of. They done smoothed those over. Don't worry about it. Pay us a little bit of money, donate to this charity, do this and that. It's not like Dirk is involved with hurting no citizens or innocent bystanders. No, this is gang on gang. They don't care about that. The problem is Dirk tried to get out that contract. So Dirk tried to get out that contract and become Muslim, and he got the whole goddamn Chicago over there praying. He got his side of Chicago praying. He got the ops praying. All them niggas up there praying. All right. Dirk, clearly you didn't read the contract, dear sir. This is not what we pay. You got to come with us, sir. You got to come with us, buddy. You got to sit down over here. And you didn't know what you. So I had to explain to folks like, yo, these things that you're seeing, it's not what you. Even the Puff Daddy situation. Oh, no. Puff Daddy, they got the video. No, they got. Whoa. You niggas forgetting Hugh Hefner? The sex mansion with the drugs and all that. That's not new. That's American staple. That is an American staple, what Puff Daddy is doing. Puff Daddy is literally the thing that makes a superstar feel like a superstar. Other than that, a superstar is just a nigga that gets a little bit more money. It's the drugs and the wild sex that makes them feel special. This is what they've been doing. They go, oh, no. Puff Daddy is a pedophile. He was doing something with the kids. Y'all are still confused. Michael Jackson was buck naked running around with Hugh Hefner. Brooke Shields was in the Playboy magazines posing naked at 9 years old, and they sold those magazines in every supermarket in America. So this ain't got nothing to do with no kid sex. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This got to do with Puff Daddy sued them people and won $2 billion. And in 3 weeks, Cassie was dropping a lawsuit. Boop. And that lawsuit, for the first time ever, became a criminal case. I don't know if y'all notice or not, but lawsuits never became criminal cases before. This is a whole new phenomenon. This is how it usually goes. They try you in criminal court, and if they can't convict you in criminal court, then they take you and sue you for damages. If you need an example, just look at OJ. Once OJ got let off, They took him back to court and sued him and then got his money. So we can't get you for money. We're going to get you for time because time equals money. So if we can't get your time, then we'll get your money. This is a whole new thing where they try to get your money first and then use that as a prerequisite to get the time. And the reason being is because they can get the internet to do their job for them. All they got to do is put the lawsuit out there and a few rumors, and you can forget about it. They sit back. Academics and the Vlad and all these niggas, they're going to put the whole case together. And then after that, they just come pick you up and go, oh, okay, you came outside that contract, Puff. You were supposed to be selling this liquor. And and so people even forgot about liquor. I said, wait a minute. Do you niggas know what liquor is? You know, liquor is just a word that they came up with to cover up the fact that as far as these people concerned, these are spirits. So if you want to talk some occult shit, the occult starts right there with the buying and selling of spirits. The buying and selling of spirits. And they go, well, hold on, Enqi. That's not what they mean. They just saying spirits like, you know, just like, no. You see, that's the thing with words. They all have definitions. So if you trace back the term spirits to its origins, well, spirits is talking about the elementals. And now when you start talking about the elementals, you're talking about the spirits from the earth. And this is what they do in the vigils and the rituals too. And then before long, we with Madame Blavatsky and we into some full-blown Aleister Crowley shit. And y'all don't know how we got there, right? So I'm like, yo, for me, see, I get pulled into these conversations because my thing is always the health information. I know I'm going fast for some folks, but I know your audience is, they're like, hold up, yeah, we with you. Ain't goddamn it,
They
keep
with
going.
you. They with you.
So my whole thing is I get pulled into this. Once again, I start this conversation off, I'm arguing with Zip, right? And they're like, well, hold on, Enqi. Now, how the hell does your conversation with Zip with the drip somehow lead you over to Puffy and his contracts with what is it called? Deja or whatever the company was basically a front for BlackRock, right? The same folks that
Diageo,
the shooter, the shooter for Trump also used to work for BlackRock. That is very interesting that the shooter for Trump worked for BlackRock and the people that Puffy is. Anyway, so the whole thing started, check this out, with beef over agave. The whole shit started with beef over agave because another actor, I forgot his name, but he had the same liquor with these people. And, you know, they got to plant the agave, and Puff went down there and seen that they didn't plant no agave for him and blah, 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 blah. So in the mix of the Dr. Sebi conversation, because I was telling people that agave is not good for you. So they like, oh man, you going along with Zip. You going against Sebi. I said, oh, improving on research is not going against, right? Agave is not good for you. Agave is the worst thing that you could have. It promotes cancer, diabetes, and a whole host of other issues because agave is basically fructose. So back in the 80s, you can't blame Sebi because they had limited research, right? They didn't know because they thought blood sugar was blood sugar. They didn't understand that sugar is not even a real thing. Sugar is a generalized term. So when you get to the specifics, you got to be, glucose. Now, we're not checking blood sugar, we're checking blood glucose. So if you get the specifics, you go, oh, okay. Agave was thought to be healthy because you can have as much of it as you want and it didn't make your blood sugar go up. It does increase the amount of sugar in the blood, but it doesn't show up on a glucose test. You see, they're testing blood glucose levels. So before people understood to make the distinction between fructose and glucose, they didn't really understand. People still kind of struggling with that. Like, wait a minute, Doc, what do you, is that high fructose corn syrup? Well, once you take it out of the agave plant and you concentrate it into a syrup, you definitely have high fructose agave syrup. See, the only difference between high fructose agave syrup and high fructose corn syrup is the plant that it comes from, because fructose is plant sugar. Now, the largest problem with fructose is that fructose inhibits your body from making NAD. So when people was online talking about how amazing NAD is for sirtuin health and the histones and you know, the NMN and, you know, Joe Rogan is like, yo, the NMN is crazy. And blah. Just know that that follows a biochemical pathway. Your body takes in tryptophan, and tryptophan is metabolized into NAD, which is then metabolized into NMN. You get none of that with high levels of fructose because fructose stops your body from metabolizing the tryptophan. So the liquor in and of itself is poisonous to your energy system in your body. Now, if you've been studying with us for a while, you know that we have equated the energy system to the world of spirit. The spirit and the energy system, the same thing. So that's why our whole conversation with that kind of merged, because we was arguing and talking about the agave, and then the conversation just went a little bit crazy. But, you know, so this whole thing about trafficking spirits and who owns what amount of spirits and who's getting the most people to consume spirits. And I said, yo, all this shit is crazy. Just to be honest, you know, like this is all madness. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so that becomes a book called Soulcraft, The Rise of the Black Culture Vultures. Right? So that book is on Amazon, Soulcraft, The Rise of the Black Culture Vultures, because we, you know, thanks to folks like Dame Dash and all that, Black folks are becoming brainwashed to believe that white people are the culture vultures when really it's us. We are the culture vultures. We just don't understand that. We think rap culture is our culture, but it's not. You only have two sides to it. First of all, I just showed everybody that it means criminal indictments. Criminal behavior is something that was imported from the original Europeans that came to colonize this place, because the aristocrats, the educated, the royals, they all stayed in Europe. They sent the rapists, the killers, they sent them over here. So we learned that behavior. We learned that part of the behavior. Now, as far as the music is concerned, we've been brainwashed and miseducated by Kanye. Right. So it's amazing that Dame Dash takes credit for Kanye, because Dame Dash has done half the brainwashing. Kanye did the other half, because Kanye led us to believe that Jewish folks is the ones that's in control of the music. And it's not. Rap music is 100% German. Rap is German. Rap is German. Yeah. See, rap is German. The same like herpes, you know, because they try to say herpes is black. Oh, herpes come from Africa. No, it didn't. Herpes came from chimpanzees and Neanderthals in the Neander Valley in Germany. So we not having none of that smut. So that's the herpes book, because I can't talk about how to heal herpes and reverse herpes and all that without going to the origins, because the worst part of herpes is the stigma. You know, and they throw that on black folks. Oh yeah, black folks, you know, you got much more likeliness, and, you know, 40-50% of the new cases is always black people. And hold on. You're not putting that smut on my jacket. This shit came from Germany. So this is German engineering. When you say German engineering, I need y'all to think herpes, right? I need y'all to think herpes. But all of the technology, so this is what people didn't understand about the music. You know, music is not a part of the rap business. That's why rappers don't promote music. You don't hear any rappers promoting music. You don't hear any rappers talking about pianos or horns or sounds, or that's music. You only hear rappers promoting crime, because it's criminal indictments and pipeline to prison. But it starts in Germany, and that's where things become interesting, because we know the historic outlook of Germans on black people. So what you have is technology companies. They invent the magnetic tape. You know, all of the recording equipment was invented in Germany. Those technology companies, in order to invent that technology, well, they needed to be partnered up with banks. So the technology companies merged with banks, and now you have what's called a record label. And they're going to start this thing called rap through a fake label called Sugar Hill Records. Right? So you didn't know that Sugar Hill Records was BMG, right? That's the German music group, started Sugar Hill Records, the first record label of all time, right? So all this shit that they talking about, oh yeah, Puffy did it. Whoa. Puffy learned this. This is learned behavior. He got taught by Clive Davis. Clive Davis is, you know, I mean, we seen Whitney Houston. Everybody was confused. Well, y'all saw Jennifer Hudson. And like, oh, no. That's a coincidence. I'm like, oh, it's only a coincidence if it happens one time. You forget Whitney Houston is the replacement for Phyllis Hyman. Like Phyllis Hyman got found non-responsive with the drugs and the alcohol. And then she got replaced by Whitney, who was non-responsive with the drugs and the alcohol. And then all of a sudden they came with Jennifer Houston to throw us a loop. Well, Jennifer Houston's going to be alive. We'll just get the rest of her family.
Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah. Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
She's the singer that replaced Whitney. When they found Whitney non-responsive, they put it. So I'm saying this is a long line of education with this crazy, you know, and we know that these rituals comes from the Greek religion. You know, that whole man, boy, that's Greek religion. That's not. So to us, it seems like weird rituals, but to these folks, it's, you know, because Germans attribute some of their lineage from the Greeks. So that's this thing always. And so when you look at the rap now, you go, are you saying that a record label is actually a bank? Of course. What do? They give you a loan. What is your loan based on? Your loan is based on what? Your street credit. They're going to give you a loan based on your street credit. And what was street credit called before that word came? Before rap, what were they calling street credit? Your street credit literally was your rap sheet. Like if you go ask, like my mom's age group, my mom is 60-something years old. My mom's 65 or something, 66 maybe. If you go ask them, they didn't use no term street cred, street credibility. They never heard of that. What they used to say back then is, what, nigga? You better check my rap sheet. You don't know who I am. I'll black out here, you know. Or if you was in court, like how they say, like
Matt
snitching.
Earth Theory, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, I took the rap for this. You know what I'm saying? Taking the rap means taking the charge. You know what I'm saying? So taking the rap and rap sheet being your criminal record and all that, like, so your criminal record now becomes your street credit. So now we can trust that we get a return on our investment because we don't understand ownership. See, I learned ownership when I worked out on Wall Street. I learned that CEOs is not owners. See, we think that presidents of companies and CEOs is the same as owner. That's not the same as owner. The stockholders are the owners. Those are the people that are anonymous. You don't see them in the magazines and none of that because they can't be fired or hired. So you don't realize that when the record comes out, like Jay-Z said, the mind state of a nigga that boosted the crime rate so high in one city, they sent the National Guard to come get me. Shit, that's what they do. They boost the crime rate. And the more you boost the crime rate, the more you generate income because 90% of most urban cities' budget comes from crime, the arrests, the tickets, the time served in prison, the free labor they're able to ship out. So this is all one thing that we blind to because we thinking that rap somehow got something to do with music. And since we've been kids, we always been saying to ourselves, how is it that sometimes, you know, like, I mean, you got rappers that's nice, but then sometimes somebody gets signed and you hit them all over. You're like, oh, how does this nigga get a deal? Like, what is this? How does, it has nothing to do with music. This has everything to do with, yo, I killed this, I caught this body. And then when you see certain people get to a certain level, you know, when you hear the story, you know, the story is filling the blanks for you. You know, Eminem got popping by doing what? Marketing pills. That was Eminem's claim to fame. Eminem is the one responsible for making pills pop culture. He got everybody hooked on the Vicodins, the Xanny bars, And what's Eminem's name? Little chocolate pills, little chocolate candy. So what's the odds? Right? Think about 50, 5-0. That's what they used to call 5-0. It's police. 5-0. So we got a rapper named 5-0 that came out with the the gang unit. Gang unit is what they call in the police station. So I'm just saying, this is low-hanging fruit right here. It just so happens that, you know, Tupac signed to death row and then died on death row, right? He signed to death row and died there, right? I mean, this is low-hanging fruit if we start looking at this from a certain angle. So, you know, like all these things, I feel like people can agree with some of the stuff, disagree with some of the stuff, but certain things like the definition of rap being criminal indictment.
That's crazy. Jerome De La Foes, appreciate you for the $10 super. He said, missing Hotep on YouTube. Hey, man, we over on Kick, man. Come join us on Kick, bro. It's popping over there.
Yeah, it's some of the stuff you just can't get around. You know what I'm saying? And even with the herpes, you know, herpes is crazy because most people don't really understand herpes. Most people don't know that. Okay, so like if we go to the OnlyFans outbreak, right? So now we switching gears, different books. I know people are like, wait a minute, what book we in right now? Now we're gonna talk about the herpes for a second. So if we switch gears and we go to the herpes thing, this is more German engineering though. So technically we still in Germany. But if we go to the herpes thing, herpes is a big moneymaker because it's like a black hole of confusion. So the first thing is it's not two types of herpes. People, the moment a person says it's two types of herpes, they don't know anything about herpes. There's 8 types of, well, actually, depending on the research you look at, it's hundreds or thousands of different types of herpes, but there's only 8 types that affect humans, right? 8 types that affect humans. And the funniest thing about this whole herpes thing is people are most concerned with the least dangerous types of herpes. So herpes 1 and 2, right? The ones that people think cause the problems on their mouth or their genitals, right? Because there's even miseducation on that, and I'm gonna show you right now. But there's 6 more herpes, and these herpes stays with you for life, right? Everybody has them. There's nobody that does not have herpes, right? Period. Right? If you had chicken pox, forget about it. That was you had herpes type 3, right? So chicken pox, shingles, zoster virus, that's herpes number 3. If you ever seen somebody with AIDS or with cancer, they got lesions all over their body, that's not the cancer or the AIDS that's causing the lesions. That's herpes number 8, right? So, but all of these different, and most herpes is spread by kids' toys before the age of 5 years old. That is absolutely insane, right? So these things stay inside your body, and like we judge herpes based on a rash. So if you got a rash on your mouth, or you got a rash on your privates, you got a herpes outbreak. Like, what people need to understand is, what is herpes doing when it's inside your body and you're not having an outbreak? When they say you asymptomatic, because I don't believe that's a real thing. Asymptomatic. That means that things are going on inside your body you just aren't aware of. Like when people have chronic kidney failure. Most people find out they got kidney failure at stage 5. That doesn't mean that their kidney was not in trouble for years and years and years up to that point. They just hadn't noticed it. And so you got these viruses that's in there going crazy inside your body that people just not aware of. Like the book is titled Herpes versus Leukemia, right? And so the reason why the book is wound up named Herpes versus Leukemia is because what most people don't know is a lot of people get a false positive when they get tested for leukemia, and it's not leukemia, it's actually herpes number 4. So a lot of people would get scared. They go to the hospital. They're like, oh, you might have leukemia. We looking at your white blood cell numbers. It looks crazy. Let's take some more tests. And you go through the tests, and you damn near getting ready to die, waiting for the test results, only to find out they're like, oh, yeah, you got EBV. And you're like, oh, Epstein-Barr virus? What's that? They're like, oh, don't worry about it. It's a common infection. You know everybody has it. And you're like, oh, okay. What they didn't tell you was EBV is herpes number 4. So now you got herpes number 4, and herpes number 4 is going to hang out. It's not going to give you a rash. You're not going to be publicly embarrassed. It's not going to slow you down from having sex. But it's going to be in there messing with your nerves. It's going to be in there messing with your neurons. It's going to be in there messing with your myelin sheath. It's going to be in there messing with your organs. It's going to be in there contributing to background inflammation, right? So all of these things, like, and I know right now is people watching like, hold up, did this nigga say we all have herpes? Wait a minute. I was following you with the rap shit right up until you said, listen, all y'all got to do is just check the numbers out. You go, oh, this is crazy. Like 5 out of the 8 forms of herpes is a 95 to 100% global infection rate. This is why in the real porn industry, so I had to make a distinction between the OnlyFans porn industry and the real porn industry. OnlyFans is not a porn industry. OnlyFans is not even an industry. OnlyFans is regular people that's at the house. There's no such thing as an OnlyFans anything. OnlyFans is niggas that's sitting at the house that decided during COVID, like they got creative, like, oh, we can make our own sex and advertise it on Twitter. Now that Twitter is X, so XXX, so now it's X on Twitter. I can advertise my OnlyFans sex.
Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you.
So it's shit getting crazy. So I'm like, okay, so we definitely got to deal with this because this is in the general population. But in the porn industry, they test every 3 days for STDs. And John Q. Public never knows why that they don't test for any type of herpes. So porn stars, they don't test for herpes. They test for syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, stuff like that, but they don't test for herpes. The reason is because it's senseless to test for herpes. You get herpes, you get exposed to herpes damn near every single day. Every single day. So say, for instance, you get exposed to herpes in your body. You come see me, I give you A, B, and C, and A, B, and C slap the shit out of the herpes. Herpes is gone, bang, herpes out of your body.
Yo, is that Tanah? Tanah, the science guy with the 5 gifted subs. Shout out to Tanah.
Shout out to Tanah.
Tanah, we got to get you on here with Enqi, man.
That is a certified fact. And so now you go to the gym and you work out and bam, you got herpes again. Now, you got herpes. I'm not talking about number 2. I'm not talking about 3 through 8. I'm talking about herpes. Like you got some shit popping up on your lip, or you go to, have some, fun time with your lady and you take off your clothes and you're like, yo, what is this? So now, what do? You don't know no better. You're totally uneducated. You do the thing that you've been trained to do. You go into the next room and you're ready to choke her to death. You're like, you gave me a what? So now y'all ready to go at it. Now let me show you this. Because you might say, Enqi, you is wilding. I want everybody to do this with me at the same time. I'm going to hit the share screen one more time. And I want everybody to do this with me together. All right? I want everybody to go to Google on your smartphone, or if you're on a computer, open up in the screen. I want you to type in gym herpes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you type in gym herpes, what you're going to see? You're going to see something that's supposed to be like this right here. To me, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back right here, because as I was growing up, I was always told that herpes is an STD.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get herpes from no bathroom. You can't get herpes from nowhere but from having sex. So if you got herpes, that means you got it from having sex with your partner, or you got it from having sex on the down low somewhere else, and you was sneaking around and blah, 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 blah. Here we have the New York State Department of Health telling you that you can get herpes from the gym mats.
Mm.
So if you're doing jujitsu, if you playing basketball, if you play football, if you work out, like we didn't know that those spray bottles that they just put in the gyms out of nowhere, those spray bottles hit the gym before COVID, FYI. A lot of people think those spray bottles started in 2019. Them spray bottles was there before the COVID, and those spray bottles are there strictly for herpes because people started to sue the gyms once they start finding out that they was getting HSV1, herpes number 1 from the gym.
Mm.
So this here has to change the game once you find out that you're getting herpes from the gym. So this is what people got to understand. Herpes is not an STD. Herpes is simply a disease of touch. If somebody touches you, herpes can transfer. Period. So if you play any contact sport, especially with people getting sweaty and worked up, you can forget about it. This is not the doctor with the gold teeth. Enqi got gold teeth, so he don't really know what he's talking. It's hard to argue with the New York State Department of Health, family. This just what this is right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And so this is a thing that you constantly got to deal with back and forth. Right? So, and then we find out that because we thought there was type 1 herpes and type 2 herpes, and one was for your mouth and one was for your genitals. And then we find out that the one that we thought was for the mouth can also cause genital infections, and the one that we thought was for the genitals can also cause mouth outbreaks. Also, it can cause back, body, ear infections, and all kinds of little rashes all over your body, right? So damn near everything people thought they knew about herpes, they got to throw out. They got to throw out. And then I had to go into where the misconceptions came from. What people don't know is that herpes is the first commercially marketed disease and medicine, right? So when they came out with the antivirals for herpes, they came with a commercial marketing campaign. And the commercial marketing campaign was that basically God is punishing you for not being in a married, for being unfaithful or being whatever, I forgot the word, sleeping around, promiscuous. The word, this is punishment for God from being promiscuous, whatever the case may be. So when they put that type of spiritual guilt on people, that's where the shame and all of that came from. And that shame, trillions of dollars through the roof. People are much less concerned with their personal health than they are about what other people think of them. And they took that shit to the bank. And the problem is, as they made more money, they were able to influence more public science. So now the first place they buy into is the Times organization. So the New York Times, the LA Times, and all of the Times places, they start running ads in their article, in their magazine about it. And before long, these preconceptions that's not based on science at all starts to get around. And of course, they're going to throw the gays and the blacks at the top of the list and start telling the good old white folks, don't mix with black folks, because, black folks traffic these things because they come from Africa. So there's a super stigma associated with black folks. So I had to track this back on down and go, this did not come from Africa. So we're going to return this back to Germany, back to the Neanderthal Valley, where the hominids was mixing up the Neanderthals and the chimpanzees. So we go through all of the scientific journal stuff, like the articles from, that tracks, because you can just look at the evolution of the viruses, and it goes from chimpanzee to human right there with the Neanderthal. So, we went to that. And then from there, once I established that and then gave some people some basic understanding about how viruses work, now you can understand why Black people have a higher a higher amount of infections, because the way viruses work, bacteria, infectious disease, period, it's about exposure. So because Black people historically were never exposed to these viruses, when we're exposed to them, we're going to have a much more of a pronounced and a nastier reaction to these things, as opposed to people that came from Germany, where this is now a part of their genetic makeup. So they're not going to have the response that we have, because this is a part of their program. So yeah, so we had to go through all that. You know, we had to go to the colon cancer, find out, you know, and it's like when people ask me questions, they don't really want the answers, because the answers always come with some other, you know, it always come with some other info. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta have a whole picture.
Nobody wants that, because they press me, yo, you got to do something for DJ Clark Kent. He died from colon cancer. You know, you got to let us know what we doing, and blah, 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 and Black Panther. I'm like, well, all right. So I do the colon cancer book. And then folks is like, hold up, but what you trying to say? You trying to say, what are you saying? I'm like, well, listen, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just telling you the facts, that one of the number one risk factors is being Black, and the other one is receiving anal sex. So if you receiving anal sex, listen, I'm not making this up. This is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we go to the colon cancer. Yo, if this stuff wasn't exciting, I wouldn't be able to dedicate my life to studying it. This is what I try to explain to people. I'm like, yo, the stuff happening inside your body is way more exciting than the stuff that's happening on the news or the stuff that's happening outside. Like, it's wild in it.
Shout out to Sweden. Thanos Fotis. He said, Sweden in here listening to the teacher, Enqi. Welcome to the show.
So, you know, it's you know, it's been a wild one, you know. What else? So we did the HIV book.
So wait, we're not done with herpes yet. We ain't talked about.
See how that became a bestseller. Like, whoa. We hear you, Doc, but let's tap back to that.
What is that? What is it? Somebody asked, is it a parasite or?
No, you got, so in your body, right? So we got to go all the way back. And you know, the funniest thing is, the deeper you get into the science, the more respect you have to have at some point for the Bible. But your body, just like the soil, right? Just like the soil, your body has, you know, 3 basic groups of microorganisms that they populate the soil. So because your body is also the soil, they populate your body. So your body has a bazillion different types of bacteria up in there, and the bacteria keep the whatever the number of bacteria is, 1,000 times more viruses, and you have 1,000 times more fungi in your body. Now, this is the real root of a lot of issues going on in your body, right? It starts right there in those 3 kingdoms, but we don't really have, overall, we're just getting into the space where we're examining the microbiome, and the microbiome has become a popular term, but we haven't really got into the virome yet, the viruses that we carry. And we haven't really got into the effect of the fungus that's always trying to swallow us whole. Fungus that lives in us is always, the fungus is never your friend, right? Sometimes the fungus can keep some stuff in check for you. Like, you know, if it just happened to run down in the wrong neighborhood, you know, fungus, you know, Candida will denature or destroy some viruses, just, you know, if they out of bounds, you know, like Crips just happen to wake up on the train and they wind up there in the Latin King neighborhood, like, oh shit, we missed our stop. Yeah, it could go down like that. But other than that, no, the fungi is really always your enemy. The bacteria in your body keep the viruses and the fungi in check, right? So the HIV Candida PCOS book It's one book, HIV, Candida, PCOS. That was like a part 2 to the herpes book, because after we did the herpes book, people had so much more questions about viruses in general in the body. And the idea of, okay, let me pause that whole thing for a second. Last year, right, because I was doing homeschool, and, you know, I promised Chase that, you know, I wouldn't homeschool him forever. He'd get to get his, you know, his social thing off and his basketball and all this. So everybody goes to school last year, right? Last year is the first year that everybody's in school. Normally, I have somebody home with me. I'm homeschooling. But last year was the first year that everybody was in school together.
Okay.
So Aubrey comes home from school. I got 9-year-old twins. She comes home from school. She's one of the twins. She comes home. She's like, Dad, you know, we can't have our favorite sandwiches anymore. She likes almond butter. So we get this thing called apple butter and almond butter. And she likes, you know, the almond butter and the apple butter. And, you know, that's their thing. They make those. So anyway, they in school one day, and I guess somebody has snitched on them because they've been taking them to school for months, you know what I'm saying? But I guess nobody knew. So one day she's eating her thing, and she describes it so vividly. I can't even tell the story as good as she did. So she like, Dad, they ran over like they was gonna kill me. I was just thinking that this was it. You know, like one of those, how we see on TV with the white folks killing black kids.
What happened?
The teachers ran over to her from like the other side of them, and they screamed.
Oh, because they thought it was peanut butter.
Don't do it! Don't you do it! And they don't know what's happening. They just see white adults running at them. Yeah, don't do it! Don't. And she can eat a sandwich, so she can't. In her mind, she like they looking around, and the ladies dove over and. Okay, so Kylie is there. She got hers on the table. They knocked it off the table. Snatched the sandwich from Aubrey, and they like, do you know what kind of lawsuit this is? Are you trying to kill? And they just went off and whooped. So I had to go to school and cuss them out for getting too excited with my babies. It was a whole big thing. Come to find out, peanut butter and almond butter and any kind of nut butter is banned from the school because allergies and wool.
Mm-hmm.
So in that book, so now that becomes a book. So once that happens, I'm like, oh, this got to go. So I write an allergy book for, you know, parents and kids and talk about this and that. And I'm like, hey, listen, we live in a sad world where you ready, you know, where you, if your child is susceptible to die from a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the only thing that you're thinking is, I need to stop other kids from having PBJs, like we're in a sad place education-wise. I'm like, this is a sign of the times. Like, so in that book, I go into this whole thing about clean versus sanitary. Clean versus sanitary, because people have this idea, a false idea, that we're supposed to live in an environment that does not have germs. Right. The very act of a man impregnating a woman is a man infecting this woman. You're infecting this woman with your virus. Your sperm is a virus. It's the human virus. And it's a specific egg, like all viruses. Viruses are not random. All viruses attack a specific cell line, right? So even with HIV is looking for the CD4 lymphocytes, or a specific type of white blood cell. Your herpes viruses are neurons and nerve cells. Like every virus has a specific type of cell. So your sperm cell, it's an oocyte. It's the human egg that the woman has. So, but this is natural though. Like, so I'm trying to get people to understand sanitary versus clean is different. Clean is safe. That's what clean means. It doesn't mean the absence of all bacteria, viruses, and fungi, because if we strip your body of all of your bacteria, viruses, and fungi, you will have AIDS. You won't have an immune system. You'll be done. It'll be a wrap. that is the basis of your immune system. Even your white blood cells, they study and they learn from all the stuff that they come in contact in your body. So if you was to sleep in like a hyperbaric chamber from the time you was born, and then we was to unleash you into the actual society at 21, stepping outside your doorway and kill you, because you gotta inhale. Like literally, we inhale over 100 million different types of viruses, bacteria, and spores a day. A day. That's not what we drink. That's not what we eat. That's not what we touch. That's not the fact that we got backwards hygiene habits, right? Our hygiene habits are backwards. Think about this. We wake up in the morning, right? We take a shower. We wash our body. Hopefully. Some of you niggas, we're not going to go there. But so we wake up in the morning, right? We wash our body, right? And then we get dressed. We put on our drawers, our underwear, whatever. And then we put on whatever goes on top of that, right? And then we go out into the world, right? And so now we're trained that we got to wash our hands when we use the bathroom, right? So the thing is, the timing of the washing of the hands is the instrumental part. So we're trained to wash our hands after we use the bathroom, but that's wrong, right? So here's the thing. Let's take this back to the top. We wash our body completely clean, right? Now we get dressed. Boom, boom. We put our clothes on. We start with our underwear. Then we put a So now our private parts have at least 2 to 3 layers between it and the outside world. Like you might just have on a shirt, but you're going to have on your bra, your panties, your boxers. So you got 2 to 3 layers to protect them, right? So technically, the cleanest place on your body is actually your butt and your private. Those are the cleanest places on your body. Your dirtiest is your hands. Your hands literally done collected all kind of shit all day. So we're trained to take all those germs and put that right on our reproductive organs. Yeah. And then guess what? What do germs need in order to grow?
Oh, they need darkness
and moisture. So we seal up the germs in our reproductive joint with the darkness and the germs, and then we wash our hands after. What the hell is that? We didn't already took the germs and put them to our most, so our whole thing of our understanding of germs and all that's just way backwards. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for, what's this guy name? He probably started the craze. Reuben Jordan, I think his name was, because he had cancer or something. And they said they gave him a few weeks to live or something. And he just started exploring the dirt and the difference between like farm people and urban city folks and whatever the case may be. He started popularizing this idea that we needed to consume the germs. And he healed his disease and started the garden of life stuff, but it got more popular from then. And so fast forward now, when I do the allergy book, I'm explaining to people, antibodies, immunoglobulins, and, like your body, you can't hide from germs. That weakens your immune system. Your body has to be exposed to germs so it can constantly increase its database of how to fight off germs. You don't want an outbreak or something crazy, a pandemic, to be your first time being exposed to something, because that's going to put you at a much higher risk for succumbing to something because you
ain't been exposed.
So that's the whole thing. Fast forward to get back to the whole herpes thing and the HIV and all this other stuff is people have the wrong idea of how to create a strong immune system. So when a pandemic hits, people want sanitizer. They want Lysol, they want hand sanitizer, they want alcohol. Those things all weaken the immune system. Those things all weaken your immune response. Those things all weaken how your body's able to fight stuff off on its own. So we got to start to realize, and the problem is, when you start to do the research, you can't figure out how long it's been kept a secret. The only thing you will know immediately is that these are things that are known but not shared. Because if we understand that the bacteria in your body is like the front line of antiviral defense. White blood cells, T cells, they're not even supposed to be involved. The bacteria in your body, the bacteria on your body is already supposed to start knocking niggas out, tapping niggas, so, like already start hitting folks with the Hulk Hogan clothesline, the leg drop, you're pinned. You know what I'm saying? Like, but our bacteria is all over the place because we don't consume fiber. And because we don't consume fiber at all, those of us that consume a little bit of fiber think that they're getting a lot of fiber. But technically, like the recommended amount is like 30 grams of fiber a day or something like that. But we really need closer to like 60, between like 60 and 100 grams of fiber a day. And that is what feeds and supercharges your immune system. But the problem is you can't sell fiber. You can't make no money on fiber. The fiber that they got in the supermarket, like Metamucil and stuff like that, that don't work. That fiber is not able to be broken down and turned into other things by the bacteria in your body.
Okay.
So that will help you have a bowel movement though, because it's not digestible. So most of it just gonna move through and help clean you out. So you get the poop, but that ain't gonna be, and that's one of the other risk factors for colon cancer is to have a poor microbiome, because there are specific types, and we name them in the book, but there's specific types of bacteria that's supposed to populate the different parts of your digestive tract. And each part of your digestive tract is protected by them, but they all need different types of fiber. You know what I'm saying? So when we get into that conversation, more people get angry with me because unfortunately, I have to go back to pointing out something that Dr. Sebi got wrong again. And Dr. Sebi probably contributed to a lot of people, having issues without even knowing, because and I can't even put it on Sebi, but I'll just put it on all of the people that are milking his legacy. Because Dr. Sebi never intended for the food list to become a thing that people thought they were supposed to live off of forever. That was never for that.
Right.
The food list was something for you to eat off of while you took the herbs, while you recovered from whatever you had going on. So if you were seeking him out because you had diabetes or you had this or you wanted to lose weight, this is the diet you use while you follow the protocol so you could get the most out of the herbs. We don't want you taking herbs and also going to KFC, because then that's you wasting your money right there. So we want you to eat this. What? So people started to take that as a forever blueprint. And then when I came along with being the only person more interested in doing the research than making the money, that became problematic because I'm like, hey, Dr. Sebi said no hybrids, right? Okay, cool. But Dr. Sebi also recommends spelt. It's on the food list. So was Dr. Sebi wrong about saying spelt is good for you? Or was Dr. Sebi wrong about saying no hybrids? Because both of those things can't be true, because spelt is a well-known hybrid, right? So that becomes Dr. Enqi picking on Dr. Sebi. I'm like, no, Dr. Sebi's the GOAT. It's just we have to elevate. That's what a pyramid shows you. See, a pyramid shows you lay a foundation wide, and then you bring it in. And each successive generation, you add on until you get to the apex. We're not at our apex of health because a lot of people still sick. So while Dr. Sebi and Dr. Africa and a lot of these folks, I mean, even Robert Becker and even outside our, they contributed. They laid cornerstones. They laid foundations, but it's up to us to keep the research going. So Dr. Sebi said, no starch, no hybrids, no starch, right? come to find out, in order for you to feed the bacteria at the bottom and end of the digestive tract, down by the anus and the colon, you have to have starch. Right? It's called resistant starch, because there's different types of starch. The same way there's different types of carbs. Now we know, like there's a time period where there's just carbohydrates. And then as science progresses, we know there's fast digesting, slow digesting, complex carbs. Like there's a different, we know now there's a difference between an apple and a cupcake, even though at one point in time, science would tell us a cupcake and an apple are both carbohydrates. So now we know now there's a huge difference between an apple and but with the starch thing, right? Just another example of how much people don't study. And you got to look around at all these guys that they quote unquote say be experts, and they marketing the stuff and selling the stuff. You got to ask these niggas, hey, all this time when you was telling me that we should not have no starch, but you was also telling me that we should be eating chickpeas, you telling me that you never researched this list? You don't even know what you're recommending people? Because chickpeas are loaded with starch. Chickpeas is if you look up resistant starch, chickpea is top 3. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. So now you got to ask yourself, was Dr. Sebi wrong about telling us not to eat no starch? Or was he wrong about the chickpea? Because chickpea is starch.
Yeah. This is true.
So you got to go, damn, Enqi, what shit? Enqi, you killing our dreams. I know. I'm doing this, advancing the research. And what I'm doing is putting books out so you can have this research, because I've been the guy secretly behind the scenes creating the healers that's out here. Most of the healers running around started off as my students. So I'm like, we're not going to make a dent in global health if everybody is trying to be like the man. Like, no, we need to get the information to the people to the point where, women need to know more about PCOS than the fact that they Black. Oh, well, you Black. So, because that's what these doctors are telling people with most of these diseases. You Black, hey, yeah, Black is, and outside of that, you can be overweight. You can have high sugar or, high amount of androgens in your system. But, if you Black, you almost, past 35, you're pretty sure you're going to have fibroids and cysts and, and there's no correlation. Because if we get into a science space, we go, wait a minute. In science, Black, what we're talking about is pigment. Well, everybody has melanin. Even white folks have pheomelanin to an extent. So what is it, melanin that's causing niggas to have diabetes? Like, we got to start asking those questions. Is melanin, when you say you're Black, so you're going to have, I got to start asking all these types of questions and trying to find answers, because people are going to ask me for the answers. They're like, yo, Hank, what does this mean? Because I'm Black, I'm going to have, I'm like, yeah. At one point we was telling folks it was your eating habits and, your Black parents are going to pass it down, because, Black people are the culture vultures, not white folks, right? Italians eat Italian food. What do Black people eat? Italian food. So who's the culture vulture? Black folks. Chinese people eat Chinese food. So Black people eat Chinese food. So who's the culture vulture? Right? So we think that the culture vultures, but see, this is the reason why we out here spinning our tails, because we don't realize that rap music is German, all of the food is foreign, the customs is foreign, the culture is foreign. So we the most affected because we're the outsiders. We don't have anything based on our bodies. You know what I'm saying? And, because we're all human, a lot of this information crosses over and is beneficial for everybody, because everybody experiences PCOS, all types of women. All women is getting fibroids. Every type of person can get colon cancer, but it's just that we always at the top of these things. And it don't be like close margin. It'd be like, you're 5 times more likely to die from skin cancer. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Skin cancer? I thought we at least had that on lockdown, like with the melanin. You know, we're supposed to have the melanin so we don't get. Look up who's the most likely to die from skin cancer at home, damn it. And when you see black folks at the top of the list, you're going to go, how the hell?
Shout out to Jay. She just said she bought 3 of your books. Shout out to Jay. Appreciate you. Shout out to Brandy.
Definitely.
David dropped $10 on the super. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate you.
So yeah, all of this stuff, man, we just
Tanai said potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice. Heat them up, let them cool overnight, then eat them. Gives you RS3. Shout out to Tanai, the science guy.
listen. Super shout out to tonight because I started going into it, and I got a video with me and Chase in the supermarket, right? And we started this a challenge, hashtag 10K a day, hashtag Green Man Challenge. And it's called the Orthorexia book. Well, it's 2 books. It's the Orthorexia book. Is it right here? Let me see. One of them is,
Shout out to Sev. What up, Sev?
So one of them is the Orthorexia book, and the other one is the Autodidact book. And this is like my Skintology series. That's what I named it, the Skintology series. And in the books, I'm talking about all of the different benefits of the different types of vitamin A's and how crucial that is. And one of the main things that I talk about is the greens and the sweet potatoes. So I'm just saying all that to say tonight is quadruply on point because the sweet potato is a super powerhouse. It's a super powerhouse. Yeah, the sweet potato is a super powerhouse, especially if you get to the purple, you know, the richer the pigment, the more you get out of them. You know what I'm saying? But we was definitely, and that's why, like a lot of, even with your eyes going bad, you know, black folks on top of that too. I said, hold up. Hold on, man. This is crazy. Black folks on top of losing their eyesight as kids, like what kind of, but come to find out, the most cause of that is malnutrition. So we need to get at least 10,000 IUs of vitamin A day. You know what I'm saying? Blindly. You know what I'm saying? Just in general. We need 10K a day. Now, it gets more specific because, you know, there's different types of vitamin A. You got animal or the vitamin, the preformed and proformed. You know, basically you got vitamin A from meat, you got vitamin A from plants. Totally different. They behave different. But then you got stuff that is a vitamin A, but is not going to become retinoic acid. So that's where you got like your luteins and zeaxanthins and all of those kind of things. Those got to go in your eyes. If you're not getting at least 5,000, 3,000, if you're not getting a minimum of a few thousand of those a day, every single day you'll be losing your eyesight because those are the things that protects the macula and the RPE from the incoming radiation. So it's not that your eyes was not designed to handle incoming radiation. It's just we don't eat the stuff that's supposed to, like literally, it's a Captain America shield is formed out of these vitamin A's in the back of your eye. When you don't have the shield, it messes up your eye. You put the shield back, eye starts getting better. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. So if you catch it, obviously, if you don't have it and then there's a lot of damage and all that, it doesn't, you know, repair that. This is what a pound of, how it goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. This because once you get to a cure, people forget that cure is like a double-sided thing, right? A cure is a double-sided thing, right? Because whatever problem you have in your body, it causes tissue damage. So cure is kind of like eliminating the cause of the tissue damage and then also healing and repairing the tissue damage. And sometimes, depending on where the tissue damage is, that's a lot easier said than done because different cell types in your body repopulate at different speeds. So you got some cells that your body replaces within days. And you got certain cell types that take between 15 and 20 years to replace. So, like it gets different, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we start going through that, and I mean it's just so much that
So let's switch to Candida now, because you mentioned Candida. What's the role that Candida plays in the body?
oh my God,
Because
Candida's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Candida, absolute monster. It's the star of HIV. Yeah, it's the star of HIV, and it's quietly there with a lot of different things, like anything. So this is how Candida basically works. Candida is like a plague in your body that's constantly trying to spread, right? It's constantly trying to like cover your body and just devour you like a snake, like a man-eating snake.
Like the symbiote?
Yeah, that's how the Candida is. And so the bacteria in your body keep it at check, keep it at bay. And so then you have it, the way I'm going to say populates in your body, but the way it colonizes your body kind of put it in a space where it could keep it in check, right? So you got your outside of your skin, then you got the inside, which is mucous membrane. The mucous membrane is the inside of the skin, but even the mucous membrane got like a coating over it, right? This like cilia and villi and all this stuff, right? And in that space in between those layers is where the Candida be at.
Mm.
And when the Candida is under control and it's nice and calm and woo woo woo, you know, it's treated as like a friendly yeast. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get fungal until the bacteria that normally keeps it in check is gone, or that protective coating is gone. So like when you get inflammation inside your body, it wears away those protective linings. And the defense mechanism for the Candida against cytokines or inflammation is to, go into, every life form got to fight for its life. It's, that's just what it is. So it will start to colonize rapidly, multiplying, and it'll suck up all of the resources, the food, the supplies, the oxygen, all of that kind of stuff. And, it gets crazy. So
It's a worm, right?
nope, it's a little cell,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
little cell, a little tiny little yeast.
Okay.
But people don't know that yeast are fungus. A lot of people don't put that. Like yeast is a type of fungus. Fungus is the category. Yeast is a type of that.
Mm.
So mushrooms are a type of fungus.
Right.
Yeast is a type of fungus.
Right.
So when people have Candida issues, like back in the days, I used to tell people just stop eating mushrooms. So I was the anti-mushroom guy, even though over the years, I've acquiesced. Now we, sometimes we eat mushrooms if we somewhere, even though I don't really buy them, but if I'm somewhere they making them, I'll eat them, whatever the case may be. But I was like, yo, sometimes you just gotta stop dealing with certain things to give your body a break. If we got something going on, like the sisters, I created a estrogen fast back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, sometimes you got to put down, like normally phytoestrogens and stuff like that, ligands and all these things. They're not problematic. But if you got a situation where you got too much estrogen, then you don't need anything, even the makeup, the xenoestrogens. Like you got to take a break because it could keep your levels high. We trying to get them down to get some stuff under control. You got to. So even, with that, like if we got a Candida issue or sisters, maybe you got a yeast outbreak in your, or you might have, a lot of times women have Candida issues in the vagina, and then they don't realize that they gave that to their man, right? So the woman secretly, she don't want you up in her business. She gonna go get Monostat 7 and take care of her program. And then she gonna jump back in the bed with you like nothing happened. And what you gonna do? You gonna give her the Candida right back.
Mm.
because she never mentioned it to you. And men, we not raised to think that we could have Candida infections. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they be asymptomatic. You know, you won't notice any trouble. You know what I'm saying? You just got some guys, you know, some little fungus, you know, you got some guys down there. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you go back in shorty, she gonna get it, or she might get BV, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be a little smell down there, a little crazy, and you know, you can't figure out what's going on. And you thinking something was wrong with her, but really, you know, that might be something that she got from. So just I think the thing that's most important is the information. Like people need to know that our bodies are constantly under attack from all of these creepy crawlies. And if we're not constantly vigilant, they're going to get us. It's just no other way around.
So how is Candida the star of the HIV show?
Oh, yeah. It takes over your body. Once your immune system, once the white blood cells get low and the microbiome changes, the Candida, you know, takes off. And, you know, that's like the one of the main symptoms that they go, okay, you're progressing now. Like they check your white blood cell levels. White blood cell levels drop. Once the white blood cell levels drop, that means the immune system, like your microbiome is going to have to take on more than, so that's going to start to change. The microbiome changes. And once that happens, the Candida takes over and, you know, repopulates all throughout the lungs and the mouth. And people usually have the white mouth and lips and tongue and all that kind of stuff. But it's not just a mouth is Candida, it's all the insides. And you're just seeing it in the mouth. But yeah, it takes over the whole. Anytime there's a break in your immune system, Candida is going to go crazy. And HIV is just the thing that put it on Front Street. So that, because for most people, they don't think of Candida as anything more than like, if you listen to some ladies, they be like, oh, if I switch toilet tissue, I can get it from that. Or if I can get a Candida anywhere. Candida is a lot more serious than we think. It's the same thing with like herpes 1 or herpes 2. Just because herpes 1 or 2 is a rash, we don't realize that the rest of the family can contribute to cancers, autoimmune diseases, and all kinds of big diseases that you would never know started with, you know, you getting herpes at 3 years old or 4 years old, because that's when most people get herpes is before they turn 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most people get herpes before they turn 5 years old. Most of the herpes in America spreads on children's toys.
He said, Tanai said, that's also why chemotherapy and Candida infections go hand in hand. The chemo
fact.
is compromising your immune system. Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a big fact. Because the whole idea with chemo is your body has so many healthy cells. This is the gamble. It's really a dice roll. You have this growth, you got the cancer cells, you know, you got a tumor, whatever. And that chemo is going to kill everything in that area. Like it's going to kill, it's a nuke. But the idea is that if we kill all the healthy cells and the cancer cells, your healthy cells will repopulate back alone. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to kill all of them. We got so many of them. But yeah, it's a taxing on the whole entire body system. And so people get a lot of infections, and this combination of bacteria, Candida, and viruses is like one of the highest contributors to iotropic death, like people getting sick and infections in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Because these underlying, you know, and the diet in the hospital is not fiber driven. It's not fiber driven and it's not pigment driven. So pigment and fiber, that's the two things that we promote. Yeah, we promote plant-based, but we don't really focus on plant-based because plant-based is super goofy right now. So anybody with us, they know we promoting pigment and fiber specifically because there's a huge difference between plants that's allowed to be themselves versus, now watch this, is the pun is intended, I definitely mean this, especially with what time it is right now. We just started the show off with Jabari and Prop 1. So I just want to make sure that this is definitely intentional. Your body responds totally different to plants that are being themselves versus plants identifying as meat. So if you niggas think at home that black beans that you have cooked from scratch and seasoned from scratch is the same as having a frozen black bean burger from White Castle.
I even know White Castle had those.
Oh yeah, White Castle got black bean burgers. They got soy burgers. They doing their thing, right? With the vegan, the vegetarian, the plant-based White Castle. You know what I'm saying? So, the chicken, plants identifying as chicken. That's not hitting your body the same as a salad. Like that's not the same. So people thinking, oh yeah, no, I'm eating all vegetables because I just had me some, and I'm like, yo, run that down what you ate yesterday. At what point did you actually have plants and you didn't have no? What is that? Oh no, I had those was veggie sausage, and then was veggie chicken, and then it was a veggie beef, and then it was a veggie. I said, and then what'd you couple with that? French fries and ketchup. I said, come on, get your ass out. You're just wasting time. You might as well go get the real thing because you actually, in some cases, may get more nutrition out of the meat than the plant-based copy.
Somebody said it's trans meat on a plate.
That is a certified fact.
They them chicken.
Like, so you got to get the plants as plants and eat those like that. Once the plant starts to identify as the animals, shit gets crazy.
I like that. I'm stealing that one.
Yeah. That's what Hotep is there. That's what Hotep is there, man.
Somebody said you would have to OD on seaweed and sea moss to fix the damage chemo causes.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the sea moss, somebody trying to open up a whole nother wormhole. So with sea moss, here's the thing with sea moss, right? And Irish moss, right? But there's all different types of algae. So sea moss is not really a thing, right? Because you got to get into what type of algae you're talking about. Different algae is good for different jobs. They all really good. They all, well, not all, but most of them that we commonly eat are nutritious and do good, but it depends on for what, right? So you got the Chondrus crispus, right? Chondrus crispus is my favorite, right? Chondrus crispus is really good for the bones. Really good for the bones, really good for the muscle. You got bladderwrack. Bladderwrack is really good for like disinfecting your body and losing weight, right? You got the Eucoma cottoni. Eucoma cottoni is good for like the fluids of the body. You got a lot of people is into spirulina, even though spirulina is technically not a sea moss, it is a bacteria. But they like to classify it as sea moss because it sells better. If you tell people it's a bacteria, niggas think twice. They're like, wait, this is what? What is this? Bacteria? No. I'm trying to get bacteria out. I don't want to purchase. So, spirulina is marketed. Chlorella is actually an algae, right? Spirulina is not. Spirulina is a cyanobacteria. So I don't really promote the spirulina too tough, even though spirulina is cool, it's high in protein. But chlorella is different. Chlorella is within 45 minutes, chlorella can boost up the body's output of antibodies from the white blood cells. So chlorella is like, chlorella is something else. Chlorella is something you want to have on hand at all times in the house, but not like you want to have that in the stash just in case some crazy, everybody's immune system, we could go in the stash and we could flip the switch. Everybody in my household, immunoglobulins we looking. Y'all be at home running from the germ, watching the news. Oh my God, it's germs. Stay in the house. I'm like, shit, you think they got that thing in Walmart yet? You think it's some sick people went to Walmart yet? All right, good. Let's go shopping at Walmart, family. Come on.
Nobody there.
Let's be the first ones. Let's get infected quick. Damn it. So we can start building up immunity to this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially now because everybody has gone trick-or-treating, which means they got a high level of, what is that? Glucose. So then everybody's immune system is compromised. So right now is definitely a time when you need some chlorella in your system.
And the crazy thing is, it's really a death ritual. And it's a death ritual in a way that people don't really understand because people are tricked. They sold the idea to always look that way. So the moment you say death ritual, niggas start to go into like some old David Icke type of, reptilian weirdo shit where it's like, no, your body, not the outside world, your body has 2 seasons. Your body has a sun season and your body has a cold season. In the cold season, your body switches to a slower metabolism to put on fat. So it switches to a slower metabolism to raise up higher levels of blood sugar. It's a natural thing for you to go into the wintertime with a higher level of fat and higher level of blood sugar. Most people don't understand that because your blood sugar and your insulin kind of run counter as a clock to vitamin D and vitamin K. Vitamin K is the one that was traditionally known as the sunshine vitamin because you got that from all of the vegetables that came up in the spring and the summer. Not so much with the wintertime stuff unless you found some tubers going back to us with the sweet potatoes and woo. But to start off the cold season when the sun drops and everybody's vitamin D level drops, everybody's melatonin level drops because the amount of melatonin. See, so we on this vitamin D kick. We don't realize that a lot of the immune effects that we attribute to vitamin D, because vitamin D comes from the sun, also is coming from melatonin. See, I have a book called Mitochondria Water, right? Even the Andrew Hubermans, all these niggas that think they know they something. Mitochondria job is to do more than recycle ATP. Mitochondria produce melatonin. Cytochrome C is just like melanin or any other pigment. It responds to the sun. So you have a direct relationship with the sun to each one of the mitochondria in your body, and your average body cell has 2,000-3,000 mitochondria, but your heart and your brain, those cells have 2 million. They have millions of mitochondria in them. And the sun stimulates all of them to release melatonin, which is, has its own, whole litany of information coming out about how potent it is and blah, 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 blah. And for most people, they're just finding out that the pineal gland produces melatonin, but it doesn't produce all. That's just for the circulating blood. The cells all produce their own melatonin from within the mitochondria. And so, when you go into the winter, you're getting less melatonin, less vitamin D, and then you're starting it off with this ritual where everybody has the maximum amount of sugar as possible. Lowest quality, most. I don't let my kids, we trick or treat, but I always let 3 days go by and I let them go to school and sell it back to the other kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, sugar is 8 times addictive as cocaine. Just relax. All these kids gonna be like scratching and looking crazy with withdrawal symptoms after they eat their candy. And then that's when you pop up with your bag of candy and hey, you in business, right? So they always get, they look forward to this shit. This time of year, they get their little hustle on, you know what I'm saying? But it's a death ritual because you start off the cold season when you should be eating your best. Like Halloween wouldn't be a death ritual if you gave the kids as much sugar as possible in the spring when it's warm outside and they can go outside and exercise and you fueled up their bodies so they can be sugared up and go exercise.
And then you decorate your house with tombstones.
Come on now. So
all the
icons, yeah.
You got skeletons, you got ghosts, which are deceased people, and tombstones all outside your house. And then everybody dressed up as a murderer, whether it's Jason or Freddy Krueger. And then what happens? You feed yourself something that actually kills you. That's crazy.
Wait a minute. You just, hold up. You just opened up a wormhole. I got to pause you here. I did a video, right?
Uh-huh.
And everybody thought I was trolling, right? Because I did a video, and this is months ago. But it just popped back up because, well, let me tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's even funny because of the Puff Daddy situation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people didn't know that Puff Daddy changed his name to Brother Love because he was hanging out with Brother Polite.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's a fact. Because I went out there and I was teaching King Los how to eat and all that. And I showed, his wife and his moms. I spent more time with his wife and his mom showing them the food stuff and all that. But King Los got in touch with me because he wanted to learn the food stuff so he could teach it to Puff because Puff was trying to change his life around and all this other stuff. Polite, thirsty to be in that space, right? He was doing some goofy stuff. So I've been around a lot of places and people, so I kind of like, oh, you want to be in this slot? Yeah, go, yeah. Ease out, go ahead. So he's over there. A few months later, after Polite gets with Puff, they doing whatever they doing. Polite comes on Ellen DeGeneres show, and he says, my name is Brother Love, but you could just call me Love. So now, me and a handful of other insiders, we cracking up off this shit because we know, like, yo, this nigga Polite. We like, yo, this is crazy. This nigga Polite is on fire. This nigga got puffy. Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, this is literally like gasoline meeting fire. Like fire, we looking at this like when gasoline met fire, a love story. Like that's what we can call that when gasoline. So the crazy shit is now they both in jail for, interesting, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward though, forget that, right? Fast forward, DJ Envy gets busted for doing the real estate Scammy Davis Jr. shit, right? But people don't realize that he learned that from Polite. You know what I'm saying? I had a video that I put up when Polite was up there on Hot 97 and he was talking when he was up there. I think it was when he was with Meta World Peace. And Envy kept bringing Polite to the real estate and taking notes. Like, hold up, explain to me how you do it. Oh, so you could sell the same property over and over to different people? Oh, word. So you could do like, oh, but that'd be a scam, right? And then they like looking at each other weird. Like, so this whole shit happens live on fucking YouTube. A few years later, Envy goes to jail for the, he gets arrested for the real estate shit and all this crazy shit. So I'm like, yo, did you niggas forget when him and Polite had the conversation on how you can scam niggas with real estate? So that happens. And then guess what? That only comes back up because Halloween just passed and everybody is now getting on Envy because Envy got his daughter dressed up like Little Kim. And, it was some crazy stuff that went on. So people hitting me up. They was like, yo, Enqi, you did say Envy was learning from Polite. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. I swear I can't make this shit up.
Yeah, that envy shit was. I saw the video. I was like, nah, you're not supposed to have your daughter dressed like this. You can't have your daughter dressed up like this. That's just wild. Somebody had a question. They want to know if what are your thoughts on Shilajit?
That's probably somebody selling it. I got like one or two people that be trolling me because they selling Cellular on their website. So they be
No, it's one of somebody from my audience. No, it's one of my audience. You want to know?
I use it.
Okay.
It's in my detox. You know what I'm saying? I use Shilajit. It's good. Yeah, and that's what yeah, it's good. It's a good thing.
There you go.
Shilajit is good. Shilajit is super expensive. And so if we're talking about somebody like at home wondering about getting the herb and whoop, there's some things that you could find that's a lot less expensive that might do the job that you're looking for. There's a lot. Like we got a book called Kitchen Chemistry. And in the kitchen chemistry book, we literally go through a whole grocery shopping list on what you can do with certain things and how you got a lot of medicinal stuff already in your kitchen or that's very inexpensive. You know what I'm saying? Because like me, I got to do everything balling on a budget. So nowadays, a lot of these herbs are getting expensive for no reason. You know what I'm saying? People just going crazy with the prices on some of this stuff. And that's where a lot of my concern comes in because like, and so here's one of the things that we do with the herpes versus leukemia book. It's actually a portion of the book is like a workbook because we were the first people in my movement, Melanin versus Diabetes, to begin to break down herbs in terms of cellular communication. And what I mean by that is cells have to communicate. Bacteria have to communicate. Viruses have to communicate. Candida has to communicate. Like, germs, everything living has to communicate with like and kind. And when you have any sort of illness or infection in your body, there's a breakdown in your internal communication, and there's a superstructure set up between whatever's going on in there. So if you have cancer cells will disrupt your immune communication system, between the helper cells, messenger cells, B cells, like your whole communication network breaks down and they institute their own, right? And so a lot of, fighting illness is being able to keep your cells communicating, and plants are able to modulate that, right? So depending on the tissue, they might be called myokines or chemokines, but the larger category for these communication molecules that most of your cells have used are called cytokines. And so we break down the plants in a way where, we talk about, IL, what the plant does in terms of cytokines, because this is where you're going to give different cell groups instructions, right? And in some chronic diseases, they have certain patterns, certain signatures, right? So type 1, type 2 diabetes, they have different expressions, but they still have the same three ruffians: IL-1, IL-6, tumor necrosis factor. So one of the things you want to be able to do if you're going to approach those with herbs is you want to know which herbs can go in there and drop the IL-1, IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor back to manageable levels where your body can handle it. The same way we talked about chlorella being able to push them immunoglobulins right up immediately within an hour, 45 minutes. We break down a bunch of the plants that way so you can, learn how to use the plants and combine them in a way that's more, it makes more sense, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole language of how it goes on. And you can boost groups and populations of cells by changing these signals. You can down-regulate production of certain cells, IL-10, boost melanocyte activity and all this kind of stuff. So, so it's good to learn that way, just even to learn the language, because, a lot of people, they'll study a second language because, like they plan on going vacation somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, boom. I'm getting ready to go on vacation to Italy. You know, I'm saving my money to go on a trip to Italy. So I'm gonna start studying Italian. You know what I'm saying? Because once I save this money, I'm gonna go to Italy for a week. You know, I did it. Or, you know, I'm gonna study the metal nature. And, you know, I'm gonna save up my money because one day I'm gonna go study the pyramids and I want to really be able to know about the metal nature and when I get there and all this other shit or whatever, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying to myself, how is it that you niggas will study a language that you only gonna use like a week or two, like if you lucky? You know, niggas studying ancient Hebrew as if they think they getting ready to actually meet Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, so you know, like you know what I'm saying? Like these niggas online debating whether they understand the metal nature, like they getting ready to really meet Osiris. And so I'm like, okay, I get that, but how then do you not put the time in to learn that foreign language that you're going to have to know when you go to the doctor's office? Because the doctors are clearly speaking a foreign language, and you clearly don't know what the hell they're talking about. But you know for sure you're going to be in there. And then when you get the short end of the stick out of your trips to the hospital, you're not going to blame it on your ignorance. You're not going to hold yourself accountable for the shot, the pill, the none of this, the side effects. You're not going to hold yourself accountable for none of that shit. You're going to blame the doctors. I said, see, that's the problem right there. Maybe black, after all this, just means ignorant, right? Maybe we have to say. Because that's the only thing I can see that works in every scenario. Because the things that's going to contribute to me getting diabetes versus the things that's going to contribute to me getting herpes versus the things that's going to contribute to me having colon. This, I'm like, whoa, this shit way too different. The only thing is just misinformation or lack of information, like Hosea 4:6. Maybe Hosea 4:6 is the definition of black. My people are dying for lack of knowledge because they reject knowledge, not because they don't have it, but because niggas are rejecting the knowledge out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's the language. And look, you know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't come back and say, and we wrote a book for it. We literally have a book called Body Language. Learn this before your next trip to the hospital so you could talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you getting Rosetta Stone so your ass can learn Spanish because you going to Cancun. You need to know what the doctors is talking about, champ. That's what you really need to understand, because that's what's going to translate into longevity. You know, accidents, God forbid, your babies go to the hospital, somebody do the wrong thing or take the wrong thing or whatever the case may be. You don't know. You don't know because you never bothered to study. This is the one language that nobody knows and nobody's learning. And it's the thing that people need to learn most. I'm like, yo, you need to be having this. Let me tell you when I learned that this was a real thing. It's my third daughter. I think it's my third daughter. No. Yeah, it's definitely one of my daughters, right? So yeah, I have 7 daughters. It can get blurry. It's either the third or the fourth, though. Tony or Amber, specifically. So we in the hospital, right? And the thing with me and her, they mom, like, so people got 10 children, but some people be like, Enqi, you was a Rolling Stone. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Enqi was not a Rolling Stone. Y'all confused. Future is a Rolling Stone. Enqi was married and had 8 children with one lady. Okay, so I need y'all to relax at home, right? But so we in the hospital though, but we always been like opposite type of, you know. So we in the hospital, and she getting ultrasound, and you know they doing the whole thing, and so it was some sort of something they thought was weird or whatever the case may be, and so they arguing about it, and then I get up in the mix, and I'm arguing with them. So we going back and forth, me and the 2 doctors, boom, 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 boom. Not ignorant, but we going in, you know, we deep into some shit. You know what I'm saying? We talking about plasma levels and, you know, concentrations of nutrients and all kinds of shit. And so, but she don't know, you know, they mama, she don't know nothing at the time. We're not married yet. At this time, she's just my baby mom. We didn't get married till after like the 4th child or something like that. But anyway, so
she don't know what y'all saying.
Right. She don't know what we were talking about. So she telling me to stop arguing with these white folks, because I'll literally stop arguing with these white folks like, you know what you're talking about, nigga. You sell phones at Verizon. You do not understand what it is they talk. So now I'm arguing with the 2 doctors and I'm arguing with her to just listen, you don't know what we're talking about, so you need to relax. No, because you're going to mess up, and they probably trying to give me a prescription, and you're going to mess up. So anyway, the nurse comes over to her and pulls her onto the side and telling her, hey, you got to calm down. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And he only looks weird because this never happens here. But I work in hospitals all over. And when you go downtown, that he's talking to them like them white people talk to them. So you need to probably start learning whatever it is that, but don't let him do what he doing, because he know what he doing. So from that scenario, I realized that, there was a need for this, because this is happening across the lines everywhere where, people don't have the education, they don't have the information, they don't really know what's what. And if you don't know what's what, you kind of just have to get whatever's given to you. And so you don't know if the doctor that is taking care of you is giving you the best treatment, or whether he's giving you what he thinks your education level is based on, or your insurance level. Because a lot of times, if you come to a certain hospital, they assume you bottom of the barrel in terms of education. And so at that point, say for instance, you got a problem and they give you 2 options. Well, they're going to give you 2 options or 3 options. Whatever they give you is going to be based on what they think you could pay for, based on what you signed up downstairs when you was admitted. They're not going to tell you all the options that's available for treatment. They're going to tell you the options that's available for treatment for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I learned quickly. I was like, oh, shit. So information can get you a lot further even than money, because, we live in a world where people may not always show their hand. You know what I'm saying? So you come in there, you don't think that if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're talking about, it's a wrap. You getting ready to get, you know what I'm saying? So I learned then it was just a need for people to just learn this language. And then from there, the language of doctors, to more importantly, even than that, the language of cells, because your cells have a language, you know what I'm saying? And you need to know, if you want to try to help yourself heal, or if you call yourself a healer, you want to try to help other folks heal, you kind of need to know that language that cells talk, and people don't have that information out there.
Tanaj said the knowledge gap is voluntary. The same way folk know about Cardi being Offset, they could get in these books too.
Oh, this a real.
You got to hit a sound effect on that. That was a crazy bar. The knowledge gap is voluntary. Translation: niggas are committing suicide, is what he said. Just in case you didn't know at all. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge gap is voluntary. That is Hosea 4 and 6.
Tanaj, cut him some slack, man. Cut him some slack, Tanaj.
No. No slack need to be cut. I be telling them on my side of town, listen, if you buy a bag of weed every day and you ain't buying no books, that's a problem right there. You spend $20 a day, and then when somebody got a $20 book for you, like, yo, damn, this book expensive. Hold on. Hey, you buying $30, you buying a half a zip, you know what I'm saying? You got the delivery man delivering the weed to your door. You telling niggas you got the exclusive, hairs on it, the purple, the what's that? The goo? What's all kind of crazy. Niggas getting exotic weed. Ciroc, they getting the top of the line liquors, De Leon, Ciroc, Puffy is out there for a reason, damn it. People buying that liquor. But we're not buying the books. So we don't have the information. And even the book I'm working on now, for fibroids, this should be like this book. I'm telling people that this book should be a gift to all baby showers. This fibroids book, you need to give. When somebody having a baby shower, here, fibroids book. If you have a little girl, you need this fibroids book. Boop. When a girl turns, 9, 10, 11, 12, here, she needs to have this fibroids book. Like, this book needs to be all over the place, because a lot of the problems with fibroids, see, the same thing, like, people was like, hold up, did this nigga say most herpes is spread on children's toys and under 5 years old?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Most fibroids start at that same age. So we're learning now that a lot of diseases start in our childhood. Most diseases start in the childhood. So, and this is kind of some of the stuff from the book, but it's all good because there's so much stuff in there. It's cool. But fathers are a therapeutic treatment.
What?
If P, then Q. Fathers are a therapeutic treatment.
How you figure that?
Because girls that get their period early, every year earlier than 12 years old that they get their period, they have a 20% higher risk of fibroids, breast cancer, and all these other things. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the risk factors for having an early period is not having your father at the home. So if having dad at home influences when you get your cycle, and if when you get your cycle influences how susceptible you are to all these different problems, this shit just got real when it comes to Margaret Sanger and these Democrats with their agenda. You see how I bring it right on back to Jabari, your ass is in trouble.
So how is the father affecting this biological system?
Well, honestly, so the cellular communication goes really deep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And cellular communication, it's even person to person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, when I say the word, people go, oh yeah, we know about that. But nobody really puts time into discussing it or studying it. It's not like a thing that people really deal with. But pheromones are real.
Mm.
And so the mother and the father's hormones and hormone cycles affects the child. You know what I'm saying? Men have a cycle. See, that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped another book, right? Another book on, I'll be working, bro. But there's a book I just dropped on conception, right? On conception, because, now, so like debating the concept of God and blah, 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 and God is light. Well, for the first time, in centuries, we can actually see what happens when a sperm fertilizes an egg.
Mm.
When a sperm fertilizes an egg, there's a light that flashes and swallows up the whole egg, and that's when you know that conception has happened.
There's a light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can show it to you. Let me show it. Pull it up real quick.
Chemiluminescence.
There's absolutely chemiluminescence. That is a certified fact.
Lauren been paying attention to your lectures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a certified fact. That's a certified fact. You sure do. Hold on. Let me find this video and then we can okay. All right, so I'm gonna just skip to because the first part of the video is like a CGI animated kind of fake thing, but it kind of conveys the idea of how sperms moving through to find the egg. But when we get here, this is the sciencey part. So the part of the chemiluminescence is the exchange of zinc, copper, and calcium that happens at the moment that the sperm penetrates the egg. And so you have two visuals. One is the actual chemical part, and then the second part is the light part. So that right there was the exchange of zinc, copper, and calcium. Right? We could look at that one more time real quick so you can see the change. Right? And then we'll let you see the actual light that symbolizes the moment of conception. And then once we have that moment of conception, we have to go all the way back to Roe versus Wade and rediscuss the whole idea of abortion, because they settled on the abortion ideas based on when, you know, the fetus is considered a living person and all this other kind of stuff. But we did not have, like, literally the technology to see and determine exactly the second that a living, you know, that a life is formed. So we're literally looking at the divine spark right now.
Mm. 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 There go the sun. There go the eclipse. Big Bang Theory.
All that right there inside the womb. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that right there, you know, that's a whole nother, you know, crazy conversation.
So tie this to Roe v. Wade now. Stop sharing the screen. Let's go back and then tie this to Roe v. Wade.
Well, the whole idea of Roe versus Wade was, you know, a part of that debate, right? So the large, most popularized part of the debate, because it taps into people's emotions, which is what Kamala and them is trying to do right now, talking about, you know, a woman has a right over her body to this and that. So they made it about that. But the other part, like if you go into it, was trying to determine when a life is a life, because, you know, that was a big part of the whole debate was, are you taking a life? Like, are you murdering somebody? And at what stage of development is the fetus considered a actual life versus, you know, kind of just like fluid or whatever the case may be. And so now that we have this, I'm saying, and I'm not saying that people's opinions should change, but I'm saying now that you have more information, you can make a more informed decision, because now we know for a fact, there's no debate to it, that the moment that sperm penetrates that egg and that flash of light happens, that cell is now alive. That is officially alive. So if you are
how do you
still
substantiate that claim that it's officially life?
Well, because you have the transfer of DNA and, you know, all of the things that we categorize as life, you know what I'm saying, starts at that moment. All of the machinery. Up until that point, the egg is pretty much just soil. The life is in the man. That's why the Bible, you know, that's another thing they try to do. They turn the Bible into like a patriarchy thing and say, oh, well, you know, they count the lineage of people in the Bible based on the man because of patriarchy. No, they count the lineage based on the man because life is in the man. When a woman is born, her eggs are there, but the eggs are not, the life is not in those. A man has a cycle just like a woman has a cycle. A woman has a 28-day cycle. And what's happening in her 28-day cycle is every 28 days, if her egg is not fertilized, the body gets rid of it. That's how that goes. In a man has a 64-day cycle where the semen are literally alive and swimming. And if you don't ejaculate those semen after 64 days, your body will dissolve them and rebuild and recreate. But those semen are alive and swimming. So you have a living cycle, a living river of life circulating inside your body every 64 days, which we make the correlation to the 64 codons that we have in the DNA, which is what the sperm carries. So for us, that's a signature. We use math as a signature when we know we're looking in the right space. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge coincidence, if you believe in coincidence, that you have 64 codons in your DNA and that the sperm is on a 64-day cycle. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. So the sperm is the carrier of life, and it conveys that to the egg and switches that genetic material over, or infects the egg. You know what I'm saying? Because the female's body does see your sperm as a virus. That's why the immune system starts attacking, right? But yeah, it gives that DNA, you know, and then you get the magic happening.
I
And
heard
actually, the more potent that light is, the more healthier the cell is, because the more potent that light is, the more melanin production you get. You know, so that's why if you notice all pregnant women, they got that line of melanin. Even the white lady, she's gonna get that line of melanin because that melanin forms, that flash of light stimulates melanogenesis along with the copper and the zinc that's there. You know what I'm saying? To get that jump started. So yeah, it's crazy.
I heard somebody in a debate describe the egg as a parasite.
Yeah, they wild for that.
Like when once the fetus, they describe the fetus as a parasite.
Yeah, they wild for that. I would say, I mean, you could stretch it because the fetus lives off of the mom.
Right.
But the thing is, there's a space where you could stretch that to be correct. You know what I'm saying? But technically it's not, because it's more like a symbiotic relationship. Because if you look at the life of the fetus and the life of the mom, the way we're designed as humans is the new life comes in, the old life takes care of the new life until the new life is on par with the old life. And then as the old life declines, those roles switch, and then the baby's supposed to take care of the parent becomes the baby. Now we got shit twisted where we sending our moms and our fathers to old folks' homes, or we let them die alone in their apartment somewhere type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're insane right now. See, all our shit is upside down, right? We will buy a dog. Think about this shit. We will buy dogs and we will clean dog shit every day, 2-3 times a day, 4 times a day. We're cleaning dog shit. But the person that gave us life, we put them in an old folks' home. And the reason, number one reason, I ain't cleaning up no shit. Wait, hold up. You got a dog right there, you cleaning shit. You got a fish tank right there, you cleaning shit. You got a cat right there, you empty the litter twice a week. What do you mean you're not cleaning shit? Oh, the person who gave you life, you won't clean their shit. But these other things that use other species that you don't even understand why you've been conditioned to take care of them. Well, who's these species? Who is these animals special to that you care more about a dog or a cat or a fish than your mama? Or more about a dog or a cat or a fish than your father? Like what? But you know, this is some of the crazy shit that I'm like, we got to bring it on back. We got to bring it on back and start getting back to some of these old school.
Let's bring it on back. Pheromones. So you're saying when the mother and the father is around a child, those pheromones act as antidepressants of some sort?
Well, no. They well, if the dad is around in the little girl's life, she gets a period later. Typically, when a girl is raised by her dad or by both parents, she's going to get her period 11, 12, 13, even 14 years old. And the later they get their period, the lower their risk of fibroids, cysts, certain types of cancers like breast cancer and all that kind of stuff. If she's raised in a situation where dad is not around, then she has a higher risk of having her period come when she's 10, 9, and some girls even get their period as young as 8 now.
Mm.
And the earlier they get their period, the higher their risk for all of these different things, right? And so it's just crazy when you look at all of the things that can cause a girl to get her period early. You know, dad not being around is not the only thing. You know, environmental chemicals, you know, so now we have science that says, we might want to think twice about the perm. But then there's, you know, beef and chicken. I mean, not beef and chicken. Chicken is not on this list. So I know niggas like, it goes wild. 2 points for chicken. No. But beef and ham.
Mm.
Beef and ham, right? And you think to yourself, what does beef and ham have in common? Beef and ham is cow. So cows, they come with a lot of bovine hormones. And with the bovine hormones, your body converts those into estrogens. And so you basically are, you know, and they've quantified. We go through the, you know, the science in the article in the book, you know what I'm saying? So people can grab the books. But I believe it is, if a little girl has 7 or more servings a week of beef and ham. No, ham is pig, right? Beef and ham. But the pig hormones are the same. If they have more than 7 servings of beef and ham, right? I'm thinking of what's that steak fillet? Anyway, but beef and ham, the pig and the cow, if they have more than 7 servings of beef and cow a week, they fit into the high risk category for having an early cycle. If they have less than 4 a week servings of beef and cow, then they fit into the lower risk, you know, for having an early cycle. So the thing is, I like to try to also take statistics off of the page and make them make sense in real life, right? Because in real life, a lot of the girls growing up in our community don't have dad around, and they're eating beef or pork every day, especially now that they have tricked folks and put the pork almost everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So you got bacon bits in your salad dressing. I said, hold up. I said, wait a minute. I said, what the hell? I said, hold up. Nobody's going to complain about this shit. You put bacon bits in my salad dressing, nigga? Like, what are we?
They got to do something.
You know, like salad was like, we're eating the salad to avoid the bacon. Like, what do you put the bacon? I said, this is wild out here. So, you know, but I understand how it goes because I understand the markets. I worked on Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like the commodities markets are secretly more important than the money markets. You know what I'm saying? If the commodity, because we forget that the businesses have to have items to sell. I don't know how we forget this, but so the businesses are dependent on the commodities.
Yeah, the commodities
right?
help the production. Yeah.
That's what businesses are doing, buying and selling commodities. So if the commodities goes crazy, the businesses will have to transfer those prices to the consumer. And if the price is too high, you got sales going down and, you know, supply and demand type of shit picking up. But so they started, you know, flooding, you know, like places like Checkers, you know, they're making these huge burgers with bacon on it. You know what I'm saying? And like, just, you know, all kinds of, you know, ways to get this stuff out there. So a lot of times you got the no dad with the beef and the bacon and the perm, because usually it's dad is the one at home saying, hey, don't put that shit in my kid's hair. Don't put that shit in my kid's hair. Mom is like, listen, I got to do this hair. So unless you want to do this hair, I'm putting a little straightener in it. This shit rough. So you got that. But if dad's not around, there's no resistance. We putting chemicals in there. Usually, if dad's not around, makeup comes in earlier. And so just all of these
and that makeup, like
that,
you said before, has those phytoestrogens.
Facts. So yeah, so all these things are contributing silently to, you know,
OnlyFans culture.
What? Yeah, OnlyFans. unnecessary roughness. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Yeah. But it's real though, because But the shit is that we never knew that these things translate into. I mean, well, we knew because we had people telling us, but we just didn't have science to be able to quantify it and pinpoint and go, no, this here is raising your risk of this. And you might be having fibroids at 35 because of how you was raised, and that's physically and that's mentally, because we have a lot of people, a lot of girls being raised now with all of this masculinity, and they're being taught like, you're a woman and, you shouldn't have babies and woo, woo, woo. And it's like, okay, I just had to, the same way I had to tell y'all that receiving anal sex was one of the high risks for colon cancer, I also have to tell you, ladies, that not having babies is like one of the #1 risk factors for fibroids. So yeah, if you want to have sex and you don't want to have an actual human come out, well, just know that sex starts the process of making something in there. So are you getting ready to make a baby or you getting ready to make a monster up in there? But you getting ready to make something in that motherfucker if you're having sex. So, hey, I kid you not, when the fibroids come out, these fibroids be having mustaches and teeth and all kind of shit. Bro, I kid you not. They look like deformed people. Yeah, this shit is wild, bro.
You got pictures of that?
I will not put those on the internet. I used to do that back in the days, but I don't, I try not to scare folks into the compliance.
All right, we're gonna have to look that one up.
Fibroids be looking wow. And some of them be big. They be like this big sometimes. Yeah, some of them be looking big. They monsters, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to too, is using the body the way the body's designed. If you come outside of the design, you got to expect problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Honda is not designed to work like a caterpillar. Caterpillars you can lift and build construction shit. That's not what a Honda. That's get you back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That's not an F-150. An F-150 is not even a caterpillar. Like all these different vehicles, they got different jobs.
Yeah, I just looked it up. And Google gave it a warning. They were like, you probably don't want to click on this shit.
Exactly.
And
don't
I clicked
you flash that on the screen.
Oh, no, I got to get it off. Oh, God. Why'd I look? Oh, shit.
Yeah, that. So, ladies, there's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of the fibroids is that clique of college grad hyper achiever ladies that career, a lot of jeans wearing, a lot of slacks, like all that kind of shit going on. Okay, they have the most fibroids. You know what I'm saying?
Not lies. I didn't put it on the screen. I just looked it up, yo.
Yeah. But,
somebody said his mom's client got fibroid with hair and teeth.
That's bro. Listen. That is not that uncommon.
Why is it growing teeth? Or is that just like a calcium buildup that looks like teeth?
Come on. Come on. Hey, it's a whole. Listen, it's interesting.
So when you say you really growing a monster, you really growing a monster inside of you.
Hey, they in there. You know what I'm saying? And some people,
says bone, teeth, hair, but no skin. It's when the body decides to make a baby without sperm in many cases. Okay, so we about to head out, right. But I want to bring you my theory, right?
Yeah.
Bible say man came from woman. I say woman had to be the first. And now I'm seeing this fibroid thing, and now I'm realizing how maybe she did create a little monster without a sperm. Maybe there's something there.
It's a huge rabbit hole. It's a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's a huge rabbit hole because
said that genetic
You gotta look at the-
material rubbing off the penis got to go somewhere. Yeah, your genes want to
Yeah, you
replicate.
gotta-
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that men have genetic material that women don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole thing. Like, you know, people were like, oh yeah, but the women have the two X's and you got one X and a little Y, and the Y is so much smaller than the X. The women have much more genetic information than the man, and that's not true. The two X's are copies of each other. So there's not information in one X that's not in the other X.
Mm-hmm.
And because we get a copy of that, we have all that info. It's like having like two copies of this book. There's not something more in the book. You have two copies of this book.
Okay.
But I also have a copy of that book. So I got all that info.
Mm.
And then I also have this book now that you don't even have.
Right.
So yes, this book is tiny and it has a lot less pages, but it's still some stuff in this book that ain't in these books.
Right.
So you know that other part, which is in the Y, is very important for
Parthenogenesis.
yeah, parthenogenesis.
What's
That's
that?
when the female, that's basically how weed reproduces. You know, you take all the females and separate them from the males, and then the females reproduce by themselves.
Okay.
That's basically what that is. We do parthenogenesis all the time in the weed universe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that exists in the plant kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you make really potent strains of marijuana. You remove the males. The males are used for hemp and CBD.
Right.
Females are used for THC. And the same way our body makes vitamin D is how the plant makes THC. So the UVB hits the plant makes THC. The UVB hits the human, we make vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a crazy rabbit hole to go down because yeah, it definitely.
You think it's possible? Or like, if you had to take a guess, who you think came first, man or woman? Because my theory is the man sure as hell ain't give birth.
Well, I would say I would probably put my money on the earth as the birthplace. I would put my money on us coming out of the water.
Coming out of the water.
Coming out of the water.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
And then developing a human that can carry its own water. Because life is still technically coming out of the water. It's just now it's mobile.
Right.
So really like a human is like a plant or even, some of the sea creatures like a fish or something, but we just mobile, we can move. That's our advantage. If you compare us to plants, we're very similar except we can move. We're mobile. You know what I'm saying? So our roots don't have to be stuck in the soil. Our roots are rooted to the air, to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So that's that gives us an advantage. But I think that honestly, the way the male and the female are designed, I don't think one could work without another. So in that instance, I think the chicken, there's been times in my past where I leaned one way or another. There's been a time where my research was like, oh, no. It has to be the women because blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, no, because they don't have all the genetic material and genetic material can't pop into existence. So, okay, we got to go with it. And I'm like, no, but men, what the fuck they carrying it? Like, so it is always this stop and I got to go, you know what? One can't work without the other. So I just got to go.
So I'm going to run with your theory, right? So you say we come up out of the water.
Yeah.
But parthenogenesis actually is common. I wouldn't say common, but it happens amongst water creatures like frogs and lizards.
That's a fact. And that's our blueprint. Like if you go back to Kemet. In Kemet, they gave us the snakes and the frogs.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We was frogs.
So they definitely gave us the snakes and the frogs as an example. And I definitely did a deep dive on the study, on the similarity of humans and frogs, and so it's a huge rabbit hole to go down. But I would put my money there. So even if parthenogenesis happened, I would say it would probably be an earlier life form because we run through all of them in our development. So that's a thing where I think like just like we see the light at conception. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't unsee that in our mind. Like we literally watch the divine spark. You can never unsee that in the rest of your life. Like when a fetus is developing, you watch the fetus go through stages where it's identical to the different types of animals' fetuses. So you can see it go through some spaces. So for me, that's not something to shake a stick at. That's something to go, okay, well, maybe this is our record right here. This is our genetic record right here. We're here, we're here, we're here, you know. I think it's a developmental stage. And the funny thing is that even like we're going back to Kemet kind of co-signs some of that. But then even the Bible kind of co-signs some of that because there's phases of development. You know what I'm saying? So even modern science, like I said, you look in there and you see some phases of development. So I would say we kind of came through some different species, but our development happened in the water. You know what I'm saying? And then we have evidence that species do pop up like that because we go back far enough. It's just all of a sudden certain types of fish and birds. There's no explanation for the shit. Like it's just somewhere life got the blueprint. Like now we can track back where DNA started, right? DNA started in lakes, right? So literally DNA, your genetic material started to form in lakes. So that in water that's factual now, but having genetic information is different than having a whole entire template for the structure of how the organism is going to come together. Because that's typically what we're looking at. Like the planet starts off single cell organisms. We know that tissues, which is our body is made of, is literally a bunch of single cells just working together. Like, your lungs are made up of a bunch of single cells that are all working together to do lung shit. Your liver is a bunch of single cells coming together to do liver stuff and so on and so forth, specializing. But, and so we even see that with the stem cell development is, okay, these are all just one type of cell and then they specialize and then now senescent cells, there's a space where cells can lose their memory and bug out, and be inside the lung and start developing other types and that's similar to what's going on with fibroids. So they're kind of researching the space right now. It hasn't went too crazy, but they just started looking at the difference between senescent cells and fibroid cells. Senescent cells, though, typically are body cells, where fibroids are usually muscle cells. But they're trying to figure out what makes these muscle cells start growing hair and teeth and all that kind of stuff. Like, because most fibroids start with hair inside of the muscle cell, which it doesn't belong there. You know what I'm saying? So, you typically only see that with senescent cells, and that's cells that basically lost their memory. They see now, they done lost their program, and they forgot they was an ear cell or kidney cell or whatever. Now they're doing some other shit in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Enqi. Last question before I let you go. Is Yakub real?
Man, the more I learn, the more that becomes questionable. I ain't gonna front. When I was a kid, I thought that was the most silliest shit I had ever heard. But the more I learned about the brown gene and the brown germ and the black germ and how over time you can change. Like, so there's a thing like with the Willie Lynch letter. I'll compare it to the Willie Lynch letter, right? Because people debate whether that's a real thing. Like, was the Willie Lynch letter really a man delivering this speech, blah, blah, blah? I'm like, well, here's the thing. That may or may not be true, but it exists now. You know what I'm saying? And what it's saying is accurate. So we can go two ways. We could debate whether it was actually a guy with Yakub with two brains or whatever the case may be, or we could look at the process, because that process of changing a species over time based on how you feed them and what the environment you put them in and all that, we know that's real as rain. So we know that that is factual now. Like that's what we're going through now, because we're in this environment and we're inundated with industrial chemicals that no living creatures have ever been exposed to, because we're inventing this stuff. So, you know, it's not only, we don't think about, like I said earlier. See, I shortened it to the 1, 2, 3, right? That's what I call it in my books, is the 1, 2, 3. Bacteria is number 1, virus is number 2, fungus is number 3. We don't think about the 1, 2, 3 inside our body and on our body when we like extrapolate to other stuff. Meaning, we talk about the chemicals and the POPs and the PCPs and the xenoestrogens and all that, but we never even think about the effect that those chemicals have on the bacterias and the funguses and viruses. And they've never been exposed to this crazy shit either. So they in there, you know, they in there bugging, and you know, so like all life on Earth, we never been exposed to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then I got another book, the 40-Day Fruit Fast book, right, where I really begin this other conversation that I probably should have mentioned earlier because it'll open up so many rabbit holes. But I started talking about tap water, right? And so, you know, I be having these pet peeves, and the pet peeves makes me go deeper into the research of certain things and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like, so here's how the thing with the tap water started. Let me say this, tell you the story how it started with the tap water. I know people got to go, but this is good. People need to know this, right? So, because I'm Dr. Enqi, well, before I was heavy on YouTube, there was a world before YouTube where this all was in person. And I used to travel 4, 5, 6 cities sometimes in a month. I'd be going city to city to city to city, lecturing, bookstores, churches, anywhere I could speak, I was traveling to speak, right? And, you know, I made it a thing of my personal signature. Like, I like to, after the lecture and all that, we all go somewhere and eat together. You know what I'm saying? Just so that we could, you know, be, you know, community. Like, I want to, you know, spend some time with the people, not just stand on stage, collect their money, and run to the next city. You know, let's go eat. Woo. Now, in those settings, people got whatever they got in their own mind. But me, I'm trying to like let my hair down and relax with the people. But these people is meeting Dr. Enqi. So now everybody is getting ready to have like grass with, you know, like nobody's eating real food types, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So people start to say this thing, and over the years, it just drove me crazier and crazier and crazier till I couldn't take it no more, right? Now, this probably happened to you too, because you got the same type of aura, right? But you be somewhere, right? And somebody got to make a big deal out of how healthy they live in, because you there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So now you in the restaurant, they're going to say some shit like this. Watch this. Hey, the waiter come over, waitress, waiter. Server comes over. You know, what can I get you to eat? You want something to drink? And they go, well, no. The server goes, hey, you want me to bring y'all out some water? And I'm Dr. Enqi, right? And so niggas look at me crazy with what happens next. Because they gonna go immediately and go, whoa, I don't drink no tap water. So you got bottled water? What you got? Fiji back there? You got, yeah, let me get, because I don't drink no tap water. You got, matter of fact, besides that, what do y'all got any like juices? You got juice back there? Yeah, we got grapefruit, we got orange, we got cranberry from the concentrate. And they go, all right, bet. Yeah, let me get some. Let me get a cranberry, because you know I don't drink no tap water. You know, yeah, let me get. Or let me get a soda. You know, what y'all got? 7 Up. I don't drink no tap water. I'll drink a soda before tap water. Well, you know what? Let me get tea. Y'all got any tea back there? Yeah, because I don't drink no tap water. Let me get a tea. Bring me one of them green teas or something. Y'all got green tea? Yeah, let me get a green tea. Or they start getting fancy. You got any of that ashwagandha? You know, they start running down all kind of crazy. You got that Rebo's tea? So they have no idea that I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, this nigga is insane. So after they go through all that crazy stuff, I look at the same server and go, yeah, you can bring me a tap water. They done lost their whole shit. They can't even believe what just happened. Now they looking to see if I'm getting ready to pull out some black sea salt or some old crazy shit they done watched off the internet to sprinkle in my tap water. And they go, well, hold on, Enqi, how you drinking tap water? I'm like, what do you mean? You drinking tap water too? They're like, no, I'm not. I got the green tea. I got this, I got that. I said, hold on. Are you niggas insane? You mean to tell me you think that your coffee or your tea is made with bottled water, nigga? You don't know that you don't know that coffee and tea is made with tap water, nigga?
That's tap, yeah.
You don't know that beer is tap water?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that all
soda.
Your juice from concentrate, when they said they got the cranberry, the
that's
grapefruit,
definitely tap.
juice, damn near every restaurant has that same trio. All those from concentrate means it's tap water mixed with powder.
And sugar.
That's what you're concentrating.
And sugar and flavor packs, yeah.
So this is the biggest scam of all time, is that they have people running around believing that they're not drinking tap water. I'm like, yo, even when you listen to the guy that tells you on the internet, and I know who it is because I created these niggas. Oh, you're supposed to get all your water from watermelons and don't drink no water because humans wasn't designed to drink water. They were supposed to eat water and from the fruit. I'm like, oh, you niggas must believe that the farmers are not using the hose to grow these plants. You must believe that the farmer's not hosing this shit down with the regular. He's hooking the hose up to the tap, you goofball niggas.
He's hooking it up to Fiji water.
The cow you got, the chicken you got, that's tap. They made that with that's fed tap right there. That's all this shit is going on is tap. So you need to understand you're dealing with a high amount of industrial chemicals. And we have to pull the blinders off. Anything that allows us to go to sleep. Because thinking that you're not consuming tap is the way you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep. And when you drink your tea or your coffee, guess what you're getting? A concentrated dosage of chemicals. You're not getting less chemicals. You're getting a concentrated dosage of chemicals because that's what boiling water does. People think that boiling water cleans water. No. Boiling water can kill some bacteria that can't survive at a higher temperature. But as far as chemicals are concerned, you're not killing no chemicals. You're just letting the water evaporate out of the pot. So you have a much more concentrated dose of chemicals in there.
And the thing with tap water is mostly it's none of that stuff. It's the metals.
It's the metals.
And you can't boil the metals out of the water.
It's the medication too. We getting a high dose of medication from everybody's urine. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff is in it. So, I'm like, yo, we gotta get to the point we realize, listen, you not hiding from these chemicals, knock it off. Forget about it. And then you take a shower, you take a bath, like you're not hiding from these chemicals. I don't care who on the internet sold you an $800 shower. Listen, you're not hiding from these chemicals. Okay? You're not hiding from the viruses. You're not hiding from bacteria. You're not hiding from funguses. If you are not every day making sure that your NRF2 system is on duty, that your body's immune system is vigilant, you know what I'm saying? Niggas running around talking about they got the Draco for the ops and all that. You don't even know what ops look like, champ. You might see an opposite gang member once a month in your neighborhood. You got the Draco for him. You got 100,000. You're going to meet with 100,000 ops today, and you ain't got nothing prepared for them. You ain't got nothing prepared for them. You're going to go to the gym and work out, And you all over the machines. You all over the machines. You got the little spray bottle at the machine, but guess what? That spray bottle ain't at the back in the locker. Oh no, them lockers is as filthy as you can get, and you exchanging and put that on your skin. We can't worry about that. The thing is, we got to make our body a place where these guys feel very uncomfortable and they can't survive. And in terms of the chemicals, we have to keep our lymphatic system together. We don't put any care into our lymphatic system. And yes, I have a book called Lymphatic Immunity, like diplomatic immunity, lymphatic immunity, all about the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system is what's going to be cycling this stuff out of your body. You know what I'm saying? Then the spleen gets beat up, you know what I'm saying? Because the spleen has to filter blood, and then the kidneys get beat up because the kidney has to filter plasma. The kidney is not necessarily filtering the blood, it's filtering the fluid. The spleen is dealing with the actual blood cells and that kind of stuff. So you got multiple filters trying to handle this stuff, but you know, we're not really conscious of what the hell is all going on in there. Figure this out. You know,
ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Enqi. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. He got all the info. He got all that science info. I keep saying this, and I was gonna contact Tanai today and say, yo, Tanai, I got Enqi coming on, but I already promised you this was gonna be your show. But I still got to get you and Tanai together. That shit's gonna
we gotta get together. Like me and him got to get together off the joint, so we can put something together, because we could do some nice stuff together.
Absolutely.
We both is on the science, but he got a perspective, I got a perspective. We put that together, we can really like give a, I ain't even gonna say 360, because I feel like he offers a 360, I offer 3. We give 720. Like we can give a, we can really get to some stuff.
Absolutely.
You know
so we're gonna bring y'all that collab.
That air pollution thing, that me and him might have to get to that air pollution thing, because that's, it's a lot of stuff that we can touch on. We need to get to, but
yeah, we got to make that happen. What about next Saturday?
Vote no on Prop 1. Vote no on Prop 1.
Tonight, what's up with next Saturday? Tonight, we could do this again next Saturday. You and Dr. Enqi, we just run it back and we talk some same topics, new topics. We could make it happen. Let me know tonight. Just text me. Let me know it's good. Appreciate Enqi coming through.
Also, me and him can put it together, though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe more than
I thought I connected y'all in a text message, right?
Did we?
I think so.
I don't think so. We need to.
All right, I'll make sure I connect you. I thought I did.
Get together and put something together specifically. You know what I'm saying? Go crazy on something.
Yeah, word.
Holidays too. We need to have holiday content. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we see what the YouTube is right now. Diddy got the algorithm. So the whole algorithm is Black criminality. You know what I'm saying? These Kamala got. I mean, are they twerking? Like, you know what? Listen, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how these two things is happening in the same country, right? How is it that the federal government is locking up rappers for RICOs, and the presidential candidates have active gang members on stage saying gang shit in their songs? Cardi just got off a RICO just with her friend Star Brim. Like that was like 5 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you bring them out to rap? And what was the song she did? Hello, ho, ho, ho. What was that shit? Like, I'm just trying to figure out how is this happening in the same country. If that's okay to do on a presidential campaign, you cannot lock up the rappers for their raps. But if we're locking up the rappers for their raps, you cannot bring them out to get you votes with those same lyrics.
Well, that's the give and take, right? Either you get down with the Democrats or we lock you up.
Bro, that's what was in
because don't forget with Diddy, People say it's the Diageo thing. I think that was part of it. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact he said the Democrats need to cover some tangibles. So I think those two worked hand in hand. It was private.
He did decide that he wasn't gonna. Yeah, that's interesting because he's not with them this go round.
He was not with him this go round, and you know he been with him, voted die, all the other ones, and they was like, oh
wait, you know what's funny? Jay-Z is now. Jay-Z and Beyonce now done picked up the slack for the Democrats with Puffy done let off.
Yeah.
That's very interesting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if you don't want no problems, you know what I mean? You better get with the Democrats.
That's crazy.
Grifter be grifted, facts. Coach Glasgow said he got some of your books too.
Damn, I appreciate them all. Appreciate them all because that's definitely how we keep the lights on, feed the babies, and keep the research going. Like that is the beauty of the support. People don't understand. Like they hear the info, they like the info, they go, "Yo, I never heard this nowhere else." Yeah, because thanks to you guys, I can find this stuff out. I can go through these journals, and the journals game is getting so crazy. They be wanting $39 an article, $69. I mean, it's a lot of stuff free, but the free stuff is not the good stuff. You ain't getting no cutting edge shit on there for free.
No, you're not getting that.
Yeah. You gotta so that you gotta know where to look, and you gotta buy some of that stuff. So
big facts.
Definitely don't appreciate being able to flash my passport and get into Hotepistan and leave the world for a little while because it's crazy out there.
Yes, sir. Now we appreciate you, man. Everybody here in Hotepistan appreciate you. You get mad love over here. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. I'll be back Monday with the Griff Report. The rest of today I'll be studying. I'm gonna study probably from now until I go to bed tonight. I have 26 games left until I get my chess title, my chess master title, my first chess master title. So tomorrow I'll be playing 26 games. So I'll be studying all night trying to get that title. So that's what I'll be doing today.
Hold on. How long does 26 games take?
Let's see. I could probably play 4 games in 30 minutes, 4 to 5 games in 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah, they're blitz matches. They're 3-2-minute blitz matches. So, depends on how long a game goes, but they're 3-minute and 2-second increment
So from
matches.
the time you started this process, how long is it taking you to get to this space?
From the time I started studying chess seriously?
Yeah, to be a chess master, like to get this, like to be on the books, like, because obviously this is a metric that's being tracked to get the title. So from the time you put your first game on the books, how long from that?
Well, there's studying to be good enough to get the title, and then there's actually getting the games in, right? So there's the FIDE arena is, where I'm signed up, and that's just, I just signed up like a couple months ago, but like to study it, I probably since the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had a pretty nice blitz match earlier against a 14-30 cat, and I completely blew him off the board. So yeah,
what does that mean? 14-30 cat.
Well, you got ratings, right? So like I would say beginners.
What's your rating?
My rating? On League Chess it's like 1,800, 1,500. I'm probably a 1,700 chess player. I don't know what it is. That's why I have to play the games to find out what my rating is. But I don't know. But coach would say I'm probably close to 2,000. I'd say I'm probably 1,700. But a beginner would like a serious chess beginner probably starts at 1,000 rating. If you're not 1,000 rating, you're not serious. We can't take you serious yet. And then like intermediate starts at like 1,500, 1,600, and then pro starts at 2,000. Yeah, and then GM is like 2,600 or better, 2,400, 2,500. Yeah.
Interesting number.
Yeah, so the goal is 2,000. If I can get to 2,000, you can put that in the history books. Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day. I'll be studying, and
I don't think you're going to stop there.
At 2,000?
Yeah.
Probably not. If I hit 2,000, then you just go to 2,200.
2,000 is the celebrating spot.
Yeah, 2,000 celebrating spot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But after a minute, you're gonna be like, I gotta take these. I gotta get there.
Yeah. Somebody said, what chess website? FIDE Online Arena. It's the official chess federation. FIDE, FIDE Online Arena. You got to pay for it. It's like $150 a year or something like that. I don't know.
So that eliminates the not serious right there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you can go to chess tournaments and get your rating up. Like you got OTB and then you got online. What I'm doing is the online rating because I just can't get to chess tournaments. But you got OTB. I did a couple of chess tournaments this summer. Actually, I only did one. I put my kids in a bunch, but I only did one. I won my tournament. I won my section. 4 games out of 4. But that's because I'm just way higher than my actual rating. But you got OTB that's playing over the board, and that's completely different when you got the pieces in your hand. The board just looks different. Everything's different about the game. You're not just sitting chilling in your chair using a mouse. You can't pre-move. When you're sitting in a chair, you can pre-move. You can't pre-move in real life. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. Yeah. What am I studying? Chess traps. I'll be studying chess traps. Is 11 traps I have to memorize. Yeah. Only 11.
11 traps in total, or 11 traps you need to memorize?
11 traps that I want to memorize. Like you kind of got to have these down. Like they're
so that you don't allow them to be done to you, and so you can do them to others.
Correct. Yeah. So they're like 11 basic traps. But there are a million traps that, fish and pole trap, there's a bunch of different traps. Yeah. So, yeah, opening traps. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel.
Yes,
I'll be back on Monday, man. Hotep and Bill.
Peace.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.